What's up and welcome back to What's Up TV for all you can eat, and I mean all you can eat, people. But the buffet has finished. It will be finishing by the end of tonight, so get all you can eat in as we wrap up. This is our final show for the year, but we've got a massive show ahead, man. So welcome in everyone in the chat, and especially my man Ash. Welcome in, my bro. How have you been? How's your weekend been? How's everything going in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, but I've been a busy as weekend. Obviously the disappointment of the boys getting bowed out in first round, but we'll get into more of that very shortly. But then followed up by a little bit of happiness, reminiscing on the year that we just had. Then moving over, I had a little shout out to my missus' cousin, had a little baby christening on the Sunday, while also my missus' little sister playing in her grand final. Unfortunately losing, but what a year of footy just in general, bro. Not just for the Warriors, but also in personal life with family and like that. It's good to see everyone going out there killing it with their rugby league.
Bro, it is, yeah, and it's great, to play rugby league in whatever level we can is absolutely fantastic. So thank you, everyone, for coming through tonight. Again, it's our last show. Can we hit that like button real quick? Get it up to 100 likes if possible tonight. That would be great. A way to finish the year. Lots to talk about. I saw something that triggered my little brain there at the start of the message, but we'll come back to that. I don't want to talk about that right now. Let's break down, Ash, just your thoughts post the Penrith game. Me personally, I just thought, look, I went to the game and mate, the effort levels, I was so proud. Like that was, I could see that the boys gave everything. That we put away all the stuff, I suppose, that happened towards the end of the season, and they were right up for it. And I just sort of summarized it saying that there was just some moments of class from Cleary and the Panthers that was a separator. And there's no shame in that either. But it was just, that was how it fell. But anyway, bro, what was your thoughts on how the game went and your view?
Yeah, pretty much exactly the same thing, bro. I think the boys conjured up as much as they could in that one big moment. I feel like even if we won this game, probably going to next round, that probably would have been our grand final against the Penrith Panthers. I really did feel like that, just with the intensity of the game and that. And I'm 100% behind you, bro. I think the big difference between these two sides ended up being just the class of Nathan Cleary in general, right? Like the Panthers just were so clinical. They stuck to their game plan all the way through, and bounce of the ball went their way in the right moments. But that came off the back of just an amazing game plan that they set up from the start, right? So I thought our boys were right there with it, right? Like I thought we were all the way. A couple of things, obviously, as I said, bounce the ball didn't really go away in a couple of moments in this game, but who would have known if it went the opposite way? Would it have changed? Yes or no? But I'm just proud that last-ditch effort from the boys. I was really proud to see them go out there. I had mates messaging me during the game, thinking in moments when it was 12-8, it's like, oh, we might come home with this one. We're feeling like it. And we had that really amazing yardage defensive set, and it ended up being the bounce of the ball that ended up going to Garner's hands, unfortunately. But yeah, pretty much summed up our year in the sense of like incredible effort, incredible base. We got all the way up to a point. But I think Webby kind of probably summed it up the best in his press conferences. You know, we set an incredible base, but we're missing that last little piece. I don't know if that's allusion to maybe Webby's going to re-look at like the team list coming into this year and see what he can improve on for next year. You know, I love that how clinical our coach is in that sort of sense. He gives them all the loyalty, all the rope to see how far these boys can go and see what can get into there. And now he's going to have the off season to, you know, put the dots together and see what he can do to end up getting us back into top 4, hopefully, and hopefully contending for a premiership, because that will come in the future. I have no doubt about it. Webby's a great coach, and I think we've got a really good side on our hands.
Yeah, man. No, like I was really like I was impressed with the guys. Like, you know, I've been critical of the performances, you know, leading up to that. And I was I was looking at Webby when there was that little snippet that the club gave of Webby saying, "Hey guys, it's final season. You know, if we played our game," and I had doubts in my head, like, we know a little bit off the boil here. But once they got into that match, they really put it on, and we matched it physically, defensively. Like Marata it's probably the best I've seen him play.
Agreed.
Jackson Ford came in with that energy.
Oh.
Yeah, like everyone was humming and ticking and doing their best in all facets, I thought. Just, you know, that one that when Tanner Boyd made that line break, you're like, oh man, let's go. And then, you know, just the bounce of the ball it fell away at that time. And then, you know, some of those kicks, I can't believe Edwards got it in. You know, he was sliding and he threw it in, you know, and the awareness, like, you can't see that touch line, but, you know, I have to throw this in right now before you hit that line. Alamotti had some massive, like, I don't know how Alamotti did some of that stuff too. So you just got to give credit to Penrith and who they are. They're just, you know, they're quality men. And, it was... Yeah, full credit to them. And you know, with Penrith, like, I can't get upset at them too much. I feel they play to the letter of the law. They're
Agreed.
very clean, as opposed personally, you know, I always thought Melbourne were always on the cheating side of their dynasties. But, you know, Penrith, I don't really mind them doing what they did. But yeah, any last thoughts on that one, bro, before we move on? But
yeah. Oh, no, honestly, yeah, as I said, I feel like, you know, not to be that guy to continue to say it, but I really do feel like if we had a full deck of cards, I reckon we could have gave that a red hot crack. I really do. I felt like we gave it a red hot crack to begin with. I thought 24-8 probably wasn't a scoreline that really showed the game. I thought if the game ended like 18-8 or 18-12, I felt like that was kind of what it should have been. But obviously due to us pushing the letter late in that game and some errors, Brian Toto taking it to house off an error from us, you know, end up being the way it was. And again, we got players playing out of position and stuff. Like, I feel like the best way to sum it up is the big difference between the two is you got a Daly M, well, you know, probably not a Daly M winning halfback, but, you know, you got a top, the best halfback in the league going up against a really good side. Like, you know, the Panthers are a great side too, but I feel like the differences were in those key areas. And we definitely got a good one waiting for us to come back with Luke Metcalf, and also shout out to Mitch Barnett as well. He's waiting in the wings as well. So I feel like we had those guys on deck. Would have been, I felt like it would have been even closer game, and who would have known? It could have gone either way, but I'm backing our boys in that one.
Yeah, and just for those, I mean, there might have been a few in the chat there at the game, but the energy in the crowd was just like the 2023 final against the Knights. Like, I thought the crowd was awesome, man. We gave it the best we could. The energy was really up. Yeah, just a shame we couldn't get it done, and for those reasons that you mentioned. Guys, I don't have too much more to add on that. I know that's probably a short segment from what we usually do, but I think that's summed up essentially. I did want to get into our season review. I'm just trying to check if there's any comments in the chat that kind of stand out that might be talking points, but I
want to shout out a guy that I feel like, again, you brought up his name just before, but you know, I think when we have discussions about this guy, I think people get misconstrued about some of the things we do say about this guy, because you know, we obviously talk about his effort a lot of time, but Jackson Ford kind of showed how big of a miss he was kind of towards the end of the season as well with the suspension. Like 38 tackles, I think he got to 38 tackles, no miss up by halftime. Like, unheard of numbers. And then, to end up, what did he end up with overall? I think it was up to the 50s or 60s, 61 tackles with 5 missed. But he was enormous in that game. In that first half, he was holding us in all the way in that game. Him and James Fisher-Harris. And, I thought Lecker, again, a young bloke on a big stage like that, playing out of position. Obviously a couple of errors late on, playing in a position he's not used to. Sure. But, man, he was in his tackle breaking best out there too.
Bang on about Jackson Ford. You saw it at the game. His influence in the middle there, like driving the tacklers back, very strong. And we've been missing that. And it was, I had this little thought for a moment that, oh man, Tennisdale Smith might be taking his spot, but nah. You see Jackson Ford and the energy he brings. And because we held a smaller bench, he did play longer minutes. Sure, it comes with a few errors and penalties, but that's part of it. That's part of, the wrestling and the grind. I don't think that takes away from what he does. A low-key one good was Tamaiti as well, bro, in the middle. He was, I don't know if it came off on TV, but he was banging in the middle there, giving real good
He was, bro. He
energy.
was.
Yeah, so it was good to see him, like, really just digging in. And, I mean, maybe next year it looks a bit different, but I thought he held himself to account. And most of our middles, I thought were really good. The whole team, I don't want to put a dampener on anything, really. I thought everyone, like, that's a performance that people can say, look, we lost fair and square to a better team, but the effort was there, man. And it was really, really cool.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, let's get into our season review. We're gonna break down and talk about things. But if you can hit that like and subscribe for our last show this year, that'd be very kind of you. If you've been stingy all year just watching and not liking, can you just do this one favor one time? Hit that like. Okay, guys, I'm going to share the screen, and me and Ash will talk to some things about each game. We're just going to give our rough thoughts. It'll be kind of, you're navigating a storyline of the year and kind of trying to create themes along the way. We'll hit the chat too if something pops up that reminds us of things. So be active in the chat. But let's get to. Just want to share the screen here. Just to kind of go through. And actually, to start off, this is quite funny. That first game, man, how kind of dour and sad were things. And when we lost to the Raiders, and now you look on reflection, the Raiders, we're minor premiers, and we were just a team that was rusty and was going to build our way into a season, but. What was your memories of that first game, Ash, and the fanfare too? I mean, even myself was like, "What is happening, Webby? What have you? We've repeated what we did at the end of 24." But what was your thoughts on that game?
I feel like under Webby, each one of our seasons go through chapters. Start of the season, you see little things, but you also go, oh, there's a lot of things to kind of work on. We can get here, right? And I think this game kind of showed, the new halves pairing, right? Luke Metcalf coming into a 7 jersey that holds a lot of weight as a Warriors fan, right? We've had Stacey Jones, Sean Johnson in the past. For Luke Metcalf to take over that jersey, it was always going to be a big ask very early on. The preseason obviously had us very, very hyped to think that we were going to shock everyone early straight away. And this was a little bit of a coming down to earth. And who would have known the Raiders turned out to what they were? I was obviously, screaming out from the rooftops after this game going, don't worry guys, Ricky does this with the Raiders all the time. They always start hot and fast because he's an emotional head coach, but they didn't stop. That was the craziest part. But I think that it was just a show of like, I think we got into a tight tussle in that game. And unfortunately to start off our season, it's why the Warriors kept saying, everyone out of that Warriors group is like, we didn't play our football in that game. It's because as soon as we started to feel like it got a little bit tight, I felt like we went sideways. It was the early progression of our attack. Luke wanted to be the guy to show everyone that he's a game manager, but he can also string things together on the edge. And we started to go too sideways. I think that's what dominated us with the Raiders, what they dominated us with. They just wanted to play that power game, which we ended up growing throughout the season with. But yeah, as I said, it all starts with chapters. I feel like this was chapter one. Luke Metcalf, this is your show. Like, this is what the start of your journey was as a number 7 in the New Zealand Warriors. And we're going to see how far he actually got with the more we go through the season.
Yeah, it's really kind of it's a long time ago. That's how I kind of see it. I didn't even remember, like, but the fanfare at that time. You're being on. We went sideways a bit. I think was that the last time Dylan Walker played, or was it
No. I think Walks played 2 more games, right? I think he
okay, yeah, okay.
He might have played one. He might have played the Seagulls game, then dropped out of the Seagulls game from memory.
So, but crazy to think the Raiders, minor premiers, and us were in top 4 and finished in 6. But at that point in time, I think it was kind of, as Hosea said, everyone wrote us off after that game. Yeah, they did.
Do you know what I do remember is the team list and everyone going like, this is where we kind of missed the jump with Aaron Clark a little bit. We put Jackson forward to start out the game for a longer stint. And obviously, Jacko has been playing the longest stints throughout the rest of the season, so it wasn't no different to how it turned out. It's just obviously we missed Aaron Clark, and everyone wanted to see Aaron Clark from what we saw in the preseason. And I think that got fixed up pretty quickly.
Yeah, they fixed that up, and actually, that was a big turning point. Imagine, in the multiverse, if Jackson Ford killed it, and we were just with Aaron off the bench, like it was pretty evident. Like, bro, Aaron was the starter from that point on.
Yeah.
Now we got the. Let me open these up. Maybe they'll give us a bit more info as well.
But I feel like this is the forgotten game. I feel like everyone is talking about like statement wins throughout the whole season. This has never been brought up by any side anywhere. Like, this is the forgotten game. People have got to think of the context in this game. But continue on.
Yes, 36-16 at home. This game was we dominated this game, if I remember.
Yep.
I can't remember. Oh, yeah, I remember they got an early try. That's right.
It looked like it was going to come easy for Manly, and then we really found our groove.
We turned it
dominated.
On. Yeah.
Yep.
6 for 6 from Luke at that time. That wasn't kind of. Remember that? We'll get to that, but there's just some kicking woes from Luke.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. I'm trying to think. Leatoa got Egan, Roger got a try. And Luke. Yeah, that was a game where you started to feel like Luke was starting to really pop up. The team looked like dangerous, very dangerous. Yep. Anything else from you on that game? Very underrated game actually.
The biggest one was Manly came into this game as major favourites. After Vegas, everyone thought we were going to get beat by 50 because Manly put 50 on the Cowboys with ease. The way it started looked like everyone pretty much rid us off after the Tommy Turbo try because our edges got cut to death. And I strongly recommend, this always goes back to my argument with Dallin Watene-Zelezniak and how our edges defend and that. I strongly recommend watch this game and see how we were defending our edges and how over time it actually caused a lot of pressure for Manly and it caused a lot of errors for Manly, so they couldn't really get into their groove into the game because the amount of times we're cutting out time and space from the edges, shutting in. There was Tane Tuapiki and Roger. Incredible game there. Luke Metcalf obviously finished it off with the celebration, and it just sparked something within the Warriors, I reckon.
Yeah. Was Liquor playing at that time? We'll just have a quick look.
No, I think Liquor came off the bench. It was about 20 or 30 minutes he was getting early.
Yeah, him and Dimitri and Dill's okay. Yeah, so that was kind of a different team. Fish and Barnett. Yeah, that kind of really turned the way people kind of looked at it a little bit. But 14-6, the Roosters. This is a game I vaguely remember. Leatoa, Harris DeVito, Leatoa. Okay, Leatoa with a double. Nafahu White, I remember him going over.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, yep, okay. So we'll look at the team list quickly. Tane was. Did Roger get injured in that? No. Dallin was injured.
Roger got injured,
right?
Dallin was injured, so Tane started with us the whole way through. And that's why I continue to remember people go back and watch his defensive reads early on. But Roger got injured in this game. This is where he did his hamstring on Nwanga Nitawase from memory, or Dominic Young on that wing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that was in. And it's crazy to think we had a healthy Leatoa bagging doubles like it was nothing, And so I think that's a point to remember about Leatoa. Don't jump the gun too much on Leatoa. A healthy Leatoa is actually quite good. Sorry, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
100%. And unfortunately, with the injuries, he's kind of hadn't been able. Like I know there was obviously he'd been dropped for a period there, but he hasn't returned sort of properly back into New South Wales Cup either. He had that little couple of games and he got pulled out again with injury again, so he wasn't fully fit. But I remember this game. This was Ali Leotoa's show-out game. This is like where we saw the potential of what he could be. He had the defensive reads where he was absolutely chopping Sandon Smith and he pulled the strap emote in. He absolutely dominated this game, and I thought that, you can even see it by the scoreboard. We had 3 tries to 1. Luke only scored 1 conversion in this game.
Yes.
And it felt like we had to do it late. But when you look back at it, and even what the Roosters kind of turned into, the Roosters were in a point where they were doing a lot of good little things right, but they just couldn't get the finishing pieces up, and they didn't find that till later on in the season. So I think we got the Roosters at the right time in a sense.
Yeah, right.
But also we played the best game plan to kind of just shut them out, which, is a big win because we usually struggle against the Roosters.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're bang on there. You're absolutely bang on. I mean, we've lost to the Roosters 2 years in a row at home, I think. So that was a good one. 24-26, I remember this is high octane, this one. This is the birth of Aleka Halasima.
Yeah, it was.
That kind of transformed the season. Back and forth. I remember it was try for try almost at times. 4 for 4 from Metcalf. And let's have a quick look at that team list. You might be right. I think that was the end of Tainment to fullback, and we did. Oh no! So Chance got injured. Must have had a little niggle.
He must have, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, there he is. Sorry.
Oh no, he's there. Yeah, don't worry. It just
re-uploaded. Yeah. I swiped down too low. So there's Ed. So Ed came in. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Fish, and then. Yeah, that's when Thing had left.
Dylan Walker left. That's exactly right.
Yeah, Dylan Walker left, and then Jackson Ford, and then Bunty R4. Okay.
Had to come in. Yeah.
Yeah, Bunty. That might be Bunty's last game, actually. I can't remember.
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah, but the main one was that short side line break for Lecker and that try. I think he bumped off.
Yeah,
whoever it was, and then there was even a late finish. I thought maybe the Tigers might have gotten in, but anything else from that one?
No, it was 50-50 game. As I said, going over to Campbelltown. This was when the Tigers were hot, like they were red hot to trot. They were
going well at that time. Yeah.
Yep, and I feel like it was a big one because again, all the media circus was around the Tigers, so everyone was backing the Tigers and hoping them to go well. I heard a lot of commentators after the game said that they dropped that game; that was their game to drop.
That's right, they dropped it. Yeah.
But I felt like we started fairly well. Bompy had a great game in this one. But this is where Maratini Akure showed that he can run off his line. He can actually move off his line late. Where he scored his try. This is where Luke and Chanel had that really nice in around the ruck sort of movement with Wade Egan. So very good game. Obviously just got home with it, but this is when the Tigers were red hot and we took it to them and we ended up getting the chockies.
Yeah, that was great. Great game. And again, there was that Leka Halasima. I've arrived, or I'm going to become something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had a bye, which was good because I think at that time I was like, we've bagged 3 in a row. That's great, and we'll go have a little break here. Then we get to the 42-14. What I remember about this one was, I think Fish went out within 5 or 6 minutes, pec injury, and we just couldn't stop.
We had a sin bin. as well with Jackson Ford.
Bang on there.
Yeah, it was that first half was a tough one because it just felt like that we couldn't stop the bleeding at all because of the sin binning and our big man in the middle got injured. And from memory, I think because we went to that bye kind of the perfect time because when Dylan Walker left, Roger had a hamstring injury. A lot of people were again writing us off saying, all right, we're going to fall off a little bit. Like that's why people said that Tigers game we should have lost. Coming to this one, I think we were like, yeah, maybe we can get over the top of the Melbourne Storm. Like, who knows? We can do it. Unfortunately, it didn't end up that way. And as you know, Melbourne in this early part of the season on day games, they were just absolutely blowing out sides. So, yeah, it was a tough watch, obviously, looking back on it.
Yep.
But good to see that second half. We come home with 3 tries there and try to make it somewhat respectable.
Was that the one that Rocco Berry got the no, was it a crusher or something? He might have got a week off after that. I can't remember if that was the one.
He might have actually, yeah. This might have been where his shoulder niggle started from.
Yeah, and the shoulder niggle might have come in at this time.
Bumpy on the wing.
Bumpy on the wing. Okay, yep. And yeah, Tane did get targeted a little bit actually.
Yep. Yeah, the Xavier Coates. Yep.
Yep.
Crazy.
Okay, but yeah, a game to forget. But hopefully we'll get.
It was.
We have to beat these punks again at some point, surely. Bloody hell. Okay, then the 20-18. Yes, this was the Easter weekend, I think, because I was in Tauranga at that time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the penalty from halfway for Metcalf to seal the game, I remember. Is that right?
It was. It exactly was.
Yeah.
Yep. He had the trouble with the boot during this game. We should have been further out. It shouldn't even got to this point.
That's
just
right.
From memory of the game, we're absolutely dominant against this Broncos side. Again, unexpected. A lot of people thought that the Broncos were going to bounce back. I'm pretty sure they were going through. They lost to Canberra from memory, I think, before this game. So they were going to bounce on us, and we end up doing them. I think that was from this game, or they got beat by the Roosters. It was one of the two. So, yeah, I thought this game, I think we had it all locked up pretty much. I think Metcalf needed to put the conversion over to push it out to, I think it was I think they needed 2 more tries to get back into the contest, the Broncos. And unfortunately, the conversion didn't go over, and they went bang, bang, and made it too much of a close contest. Wet weather footy too. Adam Reynolds was slotting him from the sideline, and wet weather footy.
Yeah, he was killing from the sideline. I remember that. I remember he nailed 2 from the sideline. I was like, holy crap. Then Reece did his classic. He wasn't drinking the toilet water at that time, but maybe that.
He did that with a PCL knee injury. Remember that this is where Reece got injured. So he did his knee injury in this one. He got him back into the game with the try and the try assist in the corner from memory, and then he did his knee, and then he kicked it with a screwed knee. He kicked it out in the fall. And we ended up winning it. Crazy.
Yeah, that was that's right. Yeah, that's when he and the clutchness of Metcalf. This was another moment where you thought, "Wow, Metcalf's got that clutch gene," and he nailed it. And 50 meters out is difficult, especially I see a lot of rugby league goal kickers take penalties 40 out dead in front of the post and they shank it. Mm-hmm. And this is one where Luke he iced the game like crazy. And again, there was another massive moment where you thought this team was doing, and they were doing something very special at that time. We're going to move now to 26-12. This is Anzac at Christchurch.
Domination.
This is a game domination, and this is one of those easy games I felt watching at the time. I was like, we laid it on them, and then we just coasted our way to the finish line. Nothing crazy. This is when I first noted the kick, crossfield bomb to Pompey or whatever, and then the pass out to the wing. Remember that? And I think they might have done. CHT would do a little crossfield kick. Pompey would tap it back, and then Catewell would fling it to whoever was on the wing. I think Pompey got a couple that way. I think Taines had a few that time as well, or Roger may have had one. Yeah, I just felt comfortable in that game. What do you remember anything on that one?
Yeah, again,
You thought it. Oh, okay.
That's exactly So the Maratini Kore got bin for, it was a shot that I think someone dropped their level a little bit, and it wasn't really a high shot. And then Thompson got sin bin probably not long. Yeah, it was a 4. It did exactly the same, so it kind of equaled out. Because I remember screaming about it, being like, "You're kidding." But yeah, this game, bro, was just comfortable. I thought, again, when you're seeing these tries, the conversions didn't really help us points-wise. A lot of people obviously were complaining about our attack and how our attack was looking. We're scoring tries, but we weren't converting them all the way. So, obviously, these margins couldn't have pushed out too far. So when we go to the end of the day of, talking about our attack, through this period, Metcalf and all that started to get our attack humming. It's just obviously weren't converting on top of it, and there was a lot of complaints of goal kicking. But I thought this game, like it was, this Knights team had been struggling, and it was always the worry with the Warriors that teams coming over to us would bounce back on us to get back into form. And when you look at that Knights team that they did have out there, it's still a lot of class there. You would have thought that maybe they could turn it on. I think KP played in this game as well,
Yep,
and
KP was here.
we just completely shut them out. It was a dominant performance. It was one of the better Knights sides actually ran out there, to be honest.
Yeah, no, they were, we thought they were solid. I think they were defensively rock solid too.
Yeah.
But that was Lecker played. I think that was his first start, and I think maybe I'm not sure he might have played quite a long minutes there, but it felt as though he could be a starter.
Yep.
And then Levon came on as well. So yeah, that was a good solid win, and then that was well, we're really building. We're putting the pieces together. These are like games that you lose last time, last year or even in history. So
Agreed.
that was really good to see. Just putting away teams that were supposed to put away. 30-26 at Suncorp. Was this the nail biter one? I can't remember if this is the one that
It was Magic Round.
Yeah.
I was there live. It's a great game.
Yeah, can you speak to the game, Ash?
So dominant first half, absolutely blew
Yes.
them out of the water. It looked like it was going to come easy for us. But as with the Cowboys, this is what the Cowboys are. They're a team that you can't keep dead. So 28-12, yeah. So that ended up being, it was a real comfortable scoreline. And then I think it came down to our defense late on in that game. Luke Metcalf made a try-saving tackle. Kurt Capewell almost made a try-saving tackle as well to kind of keep the margin a little bit further out. This is where Tane Tuapiki got caught, really caught up on that edge a lot. And this is a game where I continue to go back on saying if people were really worrying about our defense and stuff with our edges with Dallin, go back and watch these games and look at the reads that these guys were making. It's exactly the same reads. It's exactly the same thing. It was just we were going up against a side that had players that can make those 3-on-2 passes and those beautiful reads on the edge where they had Nanai, Did, and Scotty Drinkwater out the back. It's really hard to handle a lot of time. But again, we came out to win because of mentality. Luke Metcalf, this was his shining light game. This was his I remember Fox League after this talking about how great he was this year and, his connection with Kurt Capewell and Chanel and that incredible game. It was so good to be there. It was wet weather footy and it was classic, Hollywood type of footy there.
Yeah, it was like we hung on for dear life, I remember. Yeah, there was a mention of Metcalf's try saver.
Healy's game.
Healy came in and he did that little chip, I think. And he got a repeat set or he did something.
Right in front of me, bro. Almost won the game for us. So he put the grubber in and he double tapped it. He went too far. He jumped out like he just put a foot out when he tapped it back in for Bumpy. But if he didn't, we would have scored a try. It would have been further out. It was incredible. That game, I had a Cowboys mate that we brought into the Warriors fan section and it was just, it was so good this first half. And then he started smiling in the second half a little bit coming home. We end up, keeping it and winning. It was such a great game, that one.
That one, I mean, it's good because we've kind of dominated the Cowboys like the last 3 years Webby's played them. So that's nice to have a team that you kind of you demolish them each and every time. But that was a tight one. This one, Traggers, I'm struggling to remember this one.
Metcalf field goal.
Was that 9-minute field goal? Where he took it at 9? Yeah. That was. Oh, sorry, 9 minutes left. Yeah, so 10 minutes left. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a tight tussle. I remember. I can't remember everything about that one.
So we started off red hot. And then going into halftime, fairly confident. And then just after halftime, that left side shape for the Dragons was just clinical. Again, attacking our right edge defensively. Just stripping them apart, and I think Metcalf. I think it all tied up. Metcalf had the field goal, and we just defended our ass off for the victory. It was a good solid effort there.
Yeah, it was another tight one. Yeah, I remember we talked about it maybe on the watch along. It was like perfect time to do a field goal when they're not expecting because there was no kick pressure.
Yeah,
I remember they weren't expecting it, and he just slotted it over, and we defended our way to that one.
It was good.
Yeah, Val Holmes missed a few kicks as well, probably, so that helped. Actually, let me just go back to the team list for that because it was always good to kind of see who was playing. So Berry got injured maybe. When did Berry did he get injured in the Cowboys game?
Berry, yeah, he must have got injured in the Cowboys game, yeah.
Yeah, because Catewell dropped in. Bunty Afoa started. Um, Lecker's getting more rounded games. Jacko Ford off the bench was a. I'm not sure if we realized Jacko Ford off the bench at that point was really good, but somewhere
Mm,
along the way it was like, oh, he's great off that bench. He can.
yep.
Um, Tamati, I can't remember what. Maybe Tamati played hooker here. I can't remember. So that's kind of the first signs of seeing Tamati actually come in as a utility.
Yep.
Before then, there wasn't any of that stuff. So, okay, that's a good little mental reminder. Mate, we're just on a high as fans at this point, aren't we?
We're loving
we're
it.
just we're loving it. This one here, this was another great one too, if I remember.
Yep.
Can
This should
you were
never
at
have
this
got this
game?
close. I was at this
Yeah,
game as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Can you talk about this one? I've slightly forgotten it, but it was a freaking intense game, if I remember.
It was absolute domination. I felt like the Dolphins got hard done by when they were chasing the game late. No, it was in the first half with Rogers knock on that they didn't go. And then Luke Metcalf scored, I think it was Kate Bell's try straight after that. Defensively, we were rock solid against a side that was humming. And,
Yeah,
Isaiah Katoa
yeah.
coming into this game, a lot of people obviously talking about, him stripping edges and stuff. And him and Herbie got locked up. I remember Kurt Capewell locked up Herbie in this game as a center, which was incredible to watch. But yeah, this was a dominant victory. It was only the last little bit of minutes. I think we had a sin bin. Yeah, Fish got sin binned. And
Yes.
they came 2 tries late to make it a 16-12 margin, but it was 16-0, and it felt like we were just defending our asses off and killing it in the middle there. It was a great game.
Yeah, it was a high octane game. With just back and forth. Tennisdale Smith, yeah, I remember he did a little stint there. Yes, that's
He
right.
was very good in this game, yeah.
Yeah, he was actually quite good in that game. Yeah. So
Same
yeah,
with
just kind
Laban.
of
I think this is probably the start of Laban's emergence as well. Where people like Laban had a really cool emergence for the season where in Moldy All Stars, you start to see his mentality be like, a big thing. He's defensively just rock solid. He was whacking blokes. And I think in this game, he came out and he was dominating out there. And I think we saw Aaron Clark and Fish go up against Francis Molo and Kurt Donahue from memory. They had a bit of push and shove. It was really, really
yeah,
good game to watch. It was.
yeah. No, that what I remember it being a really really solid game. 10-16 at Mount Smart. So this is the first loss in maybe 5 or 6 games. Actually, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 games. We went on kind of a 5-game win streak.
Yep.
And this was a tough one because we had our moments.
We did.
Um,
Very close game. Again,
very
against the best
game,
team
yeah.
in the comp.
Yeah, yeah, and this is where they did the Wawa with Tamale was doing his little Wawa stuff, and
Yep.
Tapine was going crazy too. Um, Sinbins, yeah, Horsburgh and Starling, yeah, there was a few Sinbins in this one. Um,
This was an
but yeah,
incredible game. We didn't
there
have
was a game where everyone was like, nah, the Warriors are legit, and I think the Raiders were legit. Like it was like a finals game. I remember people saying, hey.
yeah, T Mackey hit the nail on the head. I did feel like we were missing players in this game, but yeah, he's so we're missing Barnett due to Origin, and Fish was still out due to the pec injury. And we matched it with that forward pack, which was the biggest plus for us. And we obviously can prove that we could lock up. And I think obviously 16. There was 2 tries to our 1 try from memory. Yeah, it was a great game. Great game in the middle. I felt like if we had Fish or Barney in that game, it could have switched into our way. But I thought the boys did a
Yeah.
great job against a top fledged Raiders side.
Cracker Bunty's actually played a ton of games. I can't remember him like much at all.
I
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
crazy.
I thought he was. I didn't think he played this much too from memory, but
Yeah, but he was there. He's there. Um, yeah, that was a very tough physical game.
it
And
was.
again, minor premiers, and it reflects it. But yeah, that was a good tough battle. Um, so that was that one. 30-36. Yeah, I think we dominated this game against the
We
Rabbitohs.
we did, and then
And
we let him
and
back
then
in late.
Latrell did a little bit of work magic at the end. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that was a great kind of really solid win for if I remember. Look at the tries there, just kind of a lot of chunk of tries there.
Could have been better with
Um,
conversions. Could have pushed it out even further.
yeah, and again, conversions were starting to get Metcalf a little bit at this
Hmm.
time. Um, But yeah, I'm trying to just quickly
We
look at the team list. Sorry, go Ash. Well, yeah, I'll just scroll through
we
this.
we clicked in this game. This is a game when I go back to, like, there's certain games that people forget where our attack really came on, and there's a lot of these games too. This was one of them where it felt like a domination. Just after it felt unfair in some moments, and then they had
Yeah,
Latrell come back on the field and made it fair again. So this is a very, very good game from memory. I remember being very, very happy, but also very scared of, like, that comeback was a really crazy one. It shouldn't have ever happened. But again, it proved our attack could go with some of the best sides. And I think Metcalf and this is where Barnett got injured too. He did his ACL. So it was a crazy one, this one.
Oh crap. Okay, yep. So this is the end of Barnett.
Yeah, Barney
Yeah,
did it pretty early on.
Chalmers was doing like 4-man cutouts and
Yeah.
insane.
Just classic Trell.
Yeah, it just you gotta love. You like actually, even though he's opposition, you like love to see just amazing footy like that. And yeah, Barnett, damn. So that's a key point right there. Was Barnett going down, which was round 13. Yeah, that's halfway through the season almost. So that was a pivotal point, wasn't it?
Yep.
If you really think about that in hindsight. Then this is the game I think we all kind of felt as though, wow, we've turned a corner here as a club. We've
Another
really
7 tries. Ooh.
laid it on, and we've done it against a team that was always, even at that time, they felt as though that they were a top 4, top 6 type team.
Yep.
And we put it to them, man, and absolutely dominated them. Yeah, Chanel had a double. I remember that. Dimitrik played ball playing the fish. That was one of the key ones there, if I remember. Yeah. Any thoughts on that game, Ash, from your
This
memory?
was just an all-out masterclass. So it came from many different angles. Like, Dimitrik had a big show out in this game. Again, running with Kurt Catewell as centre, which is absolutely mental. Sam Healy. This is Healy's game, I think, from memory.
Yeah,
this is where
Healy
everyone
started
started to fall in love with Healy. Whoever didn't watch New South Wales Cup fell in love with this one. Jacob Laban, that. But yeah, what an incredible game this was. I thought that we took it to him, a very good Shark side. We shut him out really early, and Dimitrik's connection. And I think this is where Dimitrik probably had a little bit more of a show out too. I think a lot of people started to find more respect for Dimitrik Vaimonga in this game. So yeah.
Yeah, Dimitri had a great game. Yeah, everything kind of worked in terms of again, Tanner Smith getting an opportunity. Yeah, this was one like even after this, I thought, wow, this is a team that's turned a corner, and I kind of believe more in what Webby was as a coach. This game made me believe like Webby's the right guy, and I just remember feeling so much joy after that one. I remember I had a gig that night, and then I saw the score, and then I had a chat with Jazz and a few others in the WhatsApp, and we were just buzzing. Everyone was just like, Tans was in the call. We were all just we were just killing it at that time, man.
Yeah, this showed our potential, and like we can get back to this. Like, that's the thing is, I feel like after this we kind of did feel like we fell off just a tad. I think that this was a full showing, and this is without Wade Egan and a couple other big members of our side. Again, we were dealing with centre issues as we were all season. Ali and Rocco were both out, so we had to go Kurt Catewell there. So there was so many more things to go back into this lineup. We could have been even better from the sense of it. So this gave us a lot of promise that we can be a side that contends with top 4, and a lot of people locked us in around top 4 after this game too. So it was a big one, that one.
Yeah, this was the infamous Levon. We landed on the moon. The ground control to Major Tom. Doing the David Bowie's, bro. I was on the David Bowie buzz. I was in space. I was flying. I was floating on my way to Mars. I went crazy on that video, bro. I was like comparing us to, everything, every type of.
I think.
Yeah, we didn't get ahead of ourselves, bro. It was an amazing time to be a fan. And
it was.
I think everyone had a right to kind of like just be ecstatic about it.
100%. And there's context in the reason why it did fall off, but that was a good moment to say that, hey, we can get to this height again. And honestly believe next year coming into it, I feel like we can go this height and even better. So that's a big positive out of it, that we showed that we do have potential on the side. Because if we were like, as per se, if we were like the Dragons, let's guess, that have a lot of close victories and just can't get past a certain other sides, we'd probably be looking at this more of like did we just get lucky with certain results and stuff here and there? It's like, nah, we've had results where we were dominated
Yeah,
and we are
we
getting
built
up to
it.
seven. A lot of people complain about our attack. This showed out where our attack can hit those levels if we play our best game. And this was a game that I go back to and just show that, hey, even with not even a full strength side, this is Webby's game plan working to the fullest effect. And this is a big side that we could do it against, in the Sharkies. So it was a big, big one, that one.
Yeah. Then we went into the bye,
Yep.
and again, just like winning at the end of a bye is always fantastic. You get a super high, and you get to bank those points. Then we
Agreed.
went into this game, which was a kind of a letdown,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Very much so.
and this was kind of the game where the Panthers had like a B grade team. Actually, would be interested to see their team list just quickly, like if that's still the B grade. I mean, Casey McLean was, see where he's at right now.
Yep.
Alamotti, Snyder, yeah, Leota, Mitch Kenning, Lindsay Smith. That's kind of who they're running with at the moment.
That's
So it was still relatively 4-pack wise, and that's where they kind of beat us up in them anyway. But yeah, barring a few, you can say, but it was kind of labeled as like this is a reserve grade team versus our top team.
Yep.
But
I felt like the context in that game. So yeah, the Panthers obviously came over without Cleary and Liam Martin, was a big
yes.
confidence boost for them, I guess, to say that, hey, like, the coach trusts us to get this one done, and they shouldn't have. But I think that, coming to this game, we had Dallin Watene-Zelezniak do his ankle from memory, from the hip drop from memory. And then they scored through Dallin through that edge a couple of times. We had a couple of moments there where we fell apart on that edge. And I think both of them came down to injuries and stuff. We had another injury in that game as well. I think that this is where everything started to shake up a little bit. Again, we needed to be a lot better. This kind of, as like Jacko said, it did bring us back to earth a little bit to say, hey, but with our lineup, with our lineup there, we did have a couple of missing as well. So was definitely a disappointing one, and we could have been better. And this probably showed where we did shake just a tad.
And Graham Talfa, that was a kind of another one. He struggled as well. And I think there was just a few too many gaps in this one for us to kind of overcome. Let's go now to the second game, which was again the Luke Metcalf. Oh no, that's we won 2018. Sorry, no, that would be a lie. The memories, good memories. So I got to scroll down here.
I was at this game as well.
Yeah, you went to this game. You want to just share your thoughts on it, Ash?
Yeah, started off slow. I thought the Broncos obviously got the jump pretty early on in that game. And then I felt like it was a really good tussle. And again, this is a Broncos side that started to find its feet again. Reece found his form in this game. He was incredible. But I think that come the second half, we scored a try to get it really, really close. And then I think we scored another one to end up getting within a one-score margin from memory. And then before that halftime, Chance went down. I think early on, Wade Egan went down from memory. So we had Tamaide go play hooker. And then we had Chance go down. Right. We had Tamaide play fullback. And then we had Luke Metcalf go down. Yeah. And he went to play 7 to finish off the game and almost win us the game. Well, almost get us back into that game. So, and Lecker's try was absolutely incredible. It was a big moment. I think that, from memory, I think our discipline fell apart late. I think there was a Jackson Ford penalty that he gave away that pushed it out to 20-12. And I think that's it rocked us late. But yeah, I just remember this being injury riddled. I felt like we had a lot of momentum. It looked like we were going to come home strong, but injuries really hampered us from doing that.
Yeah, that was a kind of a one that they came out real physical. I remember
they did.
Haas, even I think it was Willison had a massive game I can't remember, but it just felt as though that we just couldn't overcome their dominance in the middle.
That's a full
Um,
strength Broncos side too.
yeah, and I suppose that's when they kind of started to pick up, didn't they? They picked up a bit
Hmm.
more this time, similar to Penrith. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, that was another one, and especially losing Luke, reflecting on that time now, that was a big kind of moment shifter.
yeah,
To lose, you know, a few weeks before you lose Barnett, and then this
yeah.
one you lose Metcalf. Then we went to the bye, which I think that was kind of our last bye, wasn't it? So, do you think maybe if we had a bye later on, that would have been more beneficial? Like, it felt great having all those buys early on, eh? But then you
Yeah,
kind
it
of
did.
saw like we tailed off a little bit.
Yeah.
But it helped us have a great start, so there's no complaints from my end. But just
Nah,
in a theoretical way, nah, yeah, nah, fair
I'd
enough.
probably say, yeah, theoretically, yeah, it probably would have been better to have that by a little bit later, but obviously that's not how it lands most of the time. So, but yeah, I think that at this point, from memory, I wasn't proud of those performances against Penrith and the Brisbane one, but I always felt like we were very close to getting back into those games and actually coming over the top to win those games from memory.
Yeah,
But just a couple of things we just couldn't get right towards the end. I felt like a lot of it came from mid-game injuries, and that's where injury shake-up started to really hurt us, especially for the run home from memory.
yeah, yep. No, bang on. Um, then this is where we at Mount Smart. This is the Tanner Boyd game. This was
Yep.
a really solid game. They started off shot. Yeah, Skelton scored, and it was like, okay, we kind of haven't fixed, a lot of the issues that we're having. But then we kind of got into this game and dominated by the end of it. Yeah, a bunch of tries and Tanner with the kicking boots as well. That it felt a little bit more secure at that time, and a lot of people was like, really questioning Metcalf's kicking at times. He
Yeah.
was making the ones from wide, but he was missing ones from relatively close. But Tanner kind of brought it like a bit more solid. That was another good game just to kind of bounce back and like get everyone kind of back on board. Um, yeah. Anything from that game you remember?
I remember wax on, wax off Lek Alasima to win
Oh,
out that
far out.
game.
Yeah, wax on, wax off. Yeah.
I right there with you. I felt like our back three were incredible in this game. I think Tane had a really great game too. Like his, playmaking out the back of shape was really, really
Yeah,
good.
it was very good. Yep.
I thought that, yeah, again, we saw Tanner, come in and step in the right way, like, a step on the right foot. Yeah, yeah, it was a very, very good game, very clinical. I felt like that. For me, I don't think we ever felt like we were shaking this game. I think early on when they scored early, it was like, oh, what happened here? But the boys, reined it in pretty quickly and dominated from there.
It's actually, you're seeing more of Tennis Dallas Smith as well, having popping up.
Yep.
Laban and all the, Lecker was really starting to like have solid minutes, 80-minute games.
Yeah.
So, he kind of really kind of set. You see Rocco Berry coming back and forth. I suppose his injuries at that time, he was healthy.
Just in and
Dallin, was
out.
that one of his first games? Dallin would have had a few games back by then, but yeah. So
Yeah.
there was kind of, yeah, Chanel got the double. Yep. Yep. Dallin
Dallin
scored.
was
Yeah.
at the
So,
back of amazing shape with Tane. I'm pretty sure Tane put out a
and Rocco
beautiful
went
ball
over
out to
off some
him.
good shape. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep.
So it looked very,
Um,
very good for the run home. That we're like, okay, all right. So Tanner's stepped in. He's gonna look nice in that jersey. But it's just a consistency thing, and I think the next game kind of showed a little bit of the difference between Tanner Boyd and Luke Metcalf just at the moment.
yep. So, yep, good bounce back that one, and then we kind of went from. This was the Leka Halasima
Mm-hmm.
miracle try. This was again in reality. This I remember this was like the cat and mouse of Tane saved us in
Yep.
this game. And they could have had 3 or 4 or 5 tries to be honest, but and they missed conversions. Yeah, I think Gagai was just so we kind of got a little bit lucky. Um, but we fought back in the second half. I remember Pompey scored early, and then we kind of fought
Wade
back in the
Egan's
second.
try got taken off us for a
Waiting of
double
the
movement.
yeah, Yeah,
And then
the double movement.
Greg Marju offloaded it to Dane Gagai for his try, and that was like kind of like every momentum stop, so it shouldn't have been given. Like there's a lot of different things that didn't go our
Yeah,
way here either. And then yeah, I thought the boys got back into it, then we lost it, and then we end up winning it finally late after a couple of opportunities where we kind of didn't deserve it in a sense. But Leka just pulled out just a superstar moment late.
yeah, that was a massive, massive moment that Lecker pulled off, and yeah, you're starting to see that three-man bench of the young guys. This is kind of where we really starting to set into the next season. But that was one of the will go down as one of the greatest moments in our history, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
Alasima, that was like people will watch that game back just for fun, just
Yeah.
to enjoy that moment. And this is where we had the Wires Up meet and greet, and
Yeah.
wasn't the greatest. This is one where Egan got injured early, I remember, and then you had Tamati just in hooker for such a long time, and
Yeah.
yeah, they kind of they stripped us. Say I remember a few tries, and Jaden Campbell kicked the air out of the ball. It was just one of those ones where
Mm-hmm.
the Titans got us again. What was your thoughts on that one, Ash?
This
You were
was
sitting there close to the game, yeah.
right there, man, and my first ever game in Go Media Stadium. Unfortunately, come away with a loss, but we started off hard. Like it honestly felt like the perfect day. It felt like that we're going to go three on the trot. Lecker went over, and it was like, oh, it's all coming easy to us, sort of thing. And then yeah, Wade Egan went down with the head knock. And Jaden Campbell stripped us on that edge when Wade Egan was
That's
down.
right.
And then it just the leaking started to happen a little bit. Then we had Dallin go out to a sin bin for tackling a guy off the ball. And then
Oh,
when
yeah, I remember
Tamita
that.
came on, I think Tamita came on and started playing six. We started to click into gear. I think that's when Webby made the change to him moving to a six jersey, and then we started to get back into the gear. And I think late we end up having shaky moments. I think it was Chanel got done for that ball plant, which was in a real key moment. And I did feel like in that game we didn't go to Roger enough. Like Roger looked like he was just dominating on that edge, and we just didn't go
Yeah.
to him enough. But yeah, it's one of those games.
Yep, one of those games where, like, yeah, you can tell, the fans are really up from it from the Knights win, and they kind of just felt a little bit deflated again,
Yeah.
um, and just I just felt we just couldn't peel that back. This was a game. This is probably the most deflating one, in my opinion.
This was
Uh, this was a tough one because I think we did a lot of good work, if I can remember from this game.
Mm-hmm.
Barnworth went over, and then Tane cat and moused him, and he got his hamstring. He pulled his hamstring a
Yep.
bit.
Yep.
Yeah. So Tane was just still pulling off miracle saves. We were leaking at that point.
I think
and
that
Tane, yeah,
it went back and forth. Like Herbie went over, then Dal went over, and then I felt like we started getting into our defensive shape, and we started to really try to lock him down. And it was just us versus Herbie. Like Herbie, just whenever he felt like it got the ball and just broke us open,
he was
and
killing
then
us. Yeah.
he did his hammy, and then from there it felt like we were just defending and just continuing to turn up. I felt like from memory our team list wasn't too crash hot either. I don't think we were supposed to win this game from memory. And we end up
Take the
getting
two
over the
games.
top,
Yeah.
and that was a wild one. Yeah, that was a
Kafusi
heartbreaker.
went for the leg, yeah, and everyone's saying we should have gone for the two. There was disputes over why did we die with the ball, but in theory you could have defended it.
Yep.
And then Lecker with the what's it called? Is seized up
The
of
way he
his
laid down. Yeah.
Yeah, he laid down. That was kind of everyone got a bit sad at him, but
Yeah.
that's when they went to Mighty and Tanner.
Yep.
And
Healy at hooker.
yeah, I mean, that game really felt like
Roger
we
Equity.
got it. We got it over the edge, and it just didn't. Yeah, Healy was in that game. Lussick came in for a little bit. Yep, I remember that.
We had
EIT,
no
I think
fish.
EIT's debut was it?
I think this was from
Yeah,
memory.
I can't remember if he had a good game. I thought we all felt like he.
I think he went all right. I think he went okay.
Yeah,
It was
he
a
went
couple of
all right with
touches
this
where
one.
he was all right, but wasn't like a big blowout like, Eddie's hit the stage or anything like that. It was like, oh, yep. Freddie Lussick had one. I think he only had a one or solo game. This one and the Dogs game from memory, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a yeah. I felt like we did enough, but in the key moment we didn't do enough. If that makes sense. Like our defense just we went to sleep in the worst moment possible, and the Dolphins hit us, and it kind of felt like the NRL getting us back from what we did to Newcastle. So
Yeah, that was one where we were like, swings and roundabouts. It was almost, it was like, had to bite us. We couldn't live off our 9 lives as such. Then the Dogs. Now this is where they went with Mighty at halfback.
mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure this one out. Did Tennis get dropped, or what was the call? Because I'm actually thinking about it now. I'm trying to reflect on why that happened, because immediately Tanner came back in and they kind of stuck with the Tanner all the way through.
I
Yeah,
think I think he definitely got drops. I think a lot of it, like I was always thinking that was more of a defensive thing as well. But it also came out that it also like Tanner wasn't running the ball. Like he wanted to have that variation of him running the ball as well. And I thought we started really well in this game. Like it was a 50-50 game really early on where it went penalty to penalty. Tamade was defending so well on Viliami Kikau on that edge. And then when he got knocked out is when the Dogs scored their first try. And then it all changed from there. And then Leka came on for Tamade, then he got knocked out. And then I think later on in the game, Kurt Capewell got knocked out and he got put out as well. So it was a game that, when it killed us in a short period of time. But yeah, this one went in a wet weather footy. Obviously, a lot of people discussed should have had Tanner Boyd there. But my whole argument today is like, well, put Tanner Boyd in that jersey. He's going to get knocked out anyway. So if he is defending like Tamade, and we wouldn't have had the 7 either way. So yeah.
It was a really frustrating game. And they kicked the air out of the ball, and wet weather footy. They played it to the T, man.
Well, that was
3 penalties. I remember that's a bit crazy, but yeah, that was
One was Critter flopping from Fish, and I watched it back, and I was like, how did they give that? That was crazy. But yeah, this is where Birdo kind of showed out, and that boot of Burton's, like that 40-20 that he kicked, it was like a 20-20. That was a big game changer, that kick.
Yeah, 2020. It was like Lussick started, and then Healy off the bench. Okay, yeah. But you can see a theme of all of our development players that pretty much played the whole season.
Yeah.
So I think that's always a good thing to remember when we're just reflecting on it.
100%. And Sam Healy was great when he came off the bench as well. He had that moment. He kicked it through, scored a try.
Healy showed great energy,
very good potential.
Yeah, he was again just a standout in terms of yes. And then this is where the Dragons, we played them.
Yeah,
and we got over them. I felt sorry for them. They had 3 pure HIAs.
Yeah, poor guys.
And they nearly pipped us at the end. I remember they made that line break. I think it was maybe Tane
Tyrell Sloan.
Tyrell Sloan, and he kind of bombed it. I can't remember what it is, but anyway, Tane I think it was Tane at the back there. But yeah, that was good to get a win against the Dragons and kind of get back on our feet, as so to say. I had chance of going to center at that point. Okay, Tanner came back in. Healy, Dimitri, yep. So EIT, all these guys. EIT was starting to really build his game. I felt. But yeah, I remember just Tane again was just saving tries for that he shouldn't have. He didn't have any right saving them, but he is saving some crazy tries.
And Tanner had a bit of a shaky night with the boot in that one too. So that was yeah.
Okay, we're getting now nearly there, guys. Appreciate your patience. It's actually really cool to talk this through because it kind of gives you just a kind of a theme of what has happened. This was a great win, the 18-32.
Actually, Demus was on this one too. That Dragons game, the Dragons beat the Sharks going into this game. It was a major upset. So that's a good point. The Dragons came in with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, that's right. This was the one we went to play the Titans, and everyone was kind of like, "Oh no, here we go, the Titans again." But we dominated. Yeah. You were there. What was your vibe of that one? I thought it was a really good one.
Started off a little bit slow. Tino shotted Fish off the kickoff and then scored a try. I think after 2 repeat sets, I think he scored a try, and it was like, oh no, let's not do this again, boys. And then the boys just clicked into gear and just absolutely dominated. That was unreal game. Roger. This is Roger doing Roger things. So it was very, 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 very good. I enjoyed it. Great game.
That was a good one. Okay, then we get into no, we've got past that. Yeah, the Eels. That was another just tough one. I think the Yongi tries were really killer on this one. Can't remember what's some of the details of this one, Ash.
This one,
it was good.
Yep. So this is Parramatta. They started to find form. I think they beat the Roosters from memory, either before this game or after this game. So they were uptick. They come over to us. We found I always felt like this game was like we found moments of just dominance, and then we just had back to the same story what we kind of had 2024, where there was just moments of just absolute dominance, and then we pulled the pin, and it was like they scored a try through those moments. Obviously, in this game, I think we were down to a 2-try margin early because Rocco almost scored a try, and then the ball bounced, and then Fox took it to the house, and then the second try came off of Catewell throwing an intercept that end up bouncing off of Penasini's head, and I think they shifted on broken defense. They end up getting us during that set, and then we went bang bang, and we brought it all the way back, and we started to really find it. Lecker pretty much got us back in this game as well. And then come late, there was Dimitri Weimonger's contest that just got pulled back because the ball touched his pinky.
Yes. Knock on gate.
They've been calling more so now. The Raiders got called for it over the weekend. Yeah, if I saw those calls, I was like, I would have been that Warriors fan. But no, they're getting called. So.
Yeah, no, that's right. And then the last one before the finals game, obviously, was the Seagulls, which was I thought this was probably the flattest one, and I was quite disappointed off that. This is Fish scored in the first minute, first 20 seconds. That was crazy. But yeah, I just thought we kind of looked disjointed, and for me personally, I felt like I don't feel too confident going into a final series.
Yeah.
Off that performance. And Cherry Evans' field goal, all those little things that irk you about the Seagulls.
Could have won that game.
Could have actually won it, yeah.
Yeah, another one is like we could have. Again, another one of those where I felt like we pulled the pin in key moments. I think that Luke Brooks try after halftime was a big killer, where, again, just our defense fell asleep and they busted through. That the 2 tries that were under question, which is the Bullymore try, which came off of, I felt like, a knock on in the contest, and the other one was the Simpkin try. But it is what it is. This is DC's night, and he got the field goal. He won the game. But again, if you look at your team stats and stuff, I feel like if we got a couple of conversions, which Manly would have been the opposite side too. If we got a couple of conversions, they would have won it. But if we converted a couple of our tries there, we would have came out with a victory. It was just one of those disappointing ones where we didn't play our greatest game, and it just was one of those ones.
Yeah, and then to kind of wrap it up, we did make a massive effort. That scoreline 24-8 doesn't sum up that performance for me personally. That was a really, really good performance from us.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, look, you can kind of see that timeline, and we were humming with Barney and Metcalf. We just couldn't peel it back. Some of that performance started to dip. We started to rely a lot on the younger players, a lot more.
Agreed.
And kind of things naturally fell off in a way. But still a successful season nonetheless. We will leave that there for now, people. Thank you very much for participating in that. That was a massive segment. We needed to do that when we hope that
Mm.
it can we can reflect on that as well. We'll
You
have a
know what's
little
crazy
bit,
about
yeah,
that, bro?
yeah,
Is we started to notice very quickly of like, we definitely fell off due to our injuries this year. But even our during the season we had the little one-off injuries that we kept attribute, like, obviously fixing up for. And I feel like that killed us towards the end.
yeah. Thank just Narlan saying he's leaving. Narlan, thank
Woo.
you for the $10, bro. Very kind of you. It was great meeting you, my man.
Thank
At
you,
the
brother.
meeting great. You're too kind, bro. But thank you. Sorry I didn't pull it up earlier. I got carried away with things. I saw it there, but yeah, we just want to appreciate you, man. Thank you for your love and sending us some koha
Appreciate you,
our
bro.
way, and looking forward to catching up in the next year, bro. Appreciate you, my bro. Thank you very much for that one. Me, my bro. Thank you. Yeah. So there you guys have it. I just wanted to get into just the injuries, what they were, and how they impacted. We did talk about them roughly.
Yep.
I chat GPT. Can you make a list of injuries? So correct me if I'm wrong. But just in reflection, there was the Barnett ACL knee.
Yep.
That was on 1st of June. So ACL is what usually a year. Ash
Yep.
might see him back in June next year or
I think
May.
it's like 9 to 10 months
Nine to
from,
ten
like,
months, so maybe
but
April.
about a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So that just having a mindset of we will probably be looking for a partner um,
Fish.
for Fish, and who that might be, and we might talk about that a bit more.
Yep.
Metcalf ACL as well. Um, his was on July 1st. So
Starting the season without him,
same
more likely.
starting the season without him. So we're probably going to be talking all the halves options. Who's the right fit? Do we carry through with a Tanner Boyd and a CHT, or how does that look?
Yep.
Um, and I'm probably expecting him back May, maybe May, June. Yeah, would you say, Ash?
Yeah, I'm hoping a little bit earlier.
Maybe
Um,
April. Yeah,
as I said, you get those ones that, yeah, around that April time, more than likely we'll probably get him back. I think what Brendan Smith's was, I think, around about the same. So yeah, I think it was about 8 month turnaround. So yeah, it should be around that.
yep. Rocco Berry, yeah. So he had hamstring issues, if I remember. So
Yep.
it hasn't just been purely shoulder, but the last one was shoulder. I think NRL physio might have said 4 to 5 weeks. I can't remember what that
He had a
was, but
full Rico, so yeah, it's gonna hopefully fix us up a lot of things. Remember, he had in
he
and
had a full
outs during
Rico.
the
Wow.
year due to a
Yep.
he had a pinched nerve. Remember, he had a similar
And
thing
he had
that
his
Tom
nerves
Flegler had.
started. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I think he had a full Rico, so hopefully that fixes a lot of things up. But again, yeah, he's a guy that unfortunately just yeah, the injuries are getting to him.
Injuries getting to him, but I think maybe expected return time start of season or might be longer. We'll just keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's been a tough run. It's been a real tough run for him. But he was probably the most hampered of injuries in terms of in and out injuries. Dallin had a syndesmosis, I think, that he was out for maybe 6 weeks or 7 weeks. Was it longer?
Dallin,
Yeah,
he
his
started off
injury.
the season late, so yeah, he had the wrist injury from the preseason, so he didn't get back into the lineup till the Dragons game. And then at the Panthers game, he got pulled back out because of his ankle, I'm pretty sure. I think he was in and out for a couple of times there too. So yeah,
Yeah,
he had a lot of disjointed this season.
Leotoa as well. He had syndesmosis from June, I think it was,
Yep.
and I remember seeing him at Blumen, the meet and greet, and he was hobbling around, and I was like, that doesn't look like a. I remember Dom's in the chat. He said to me, he's not coming back. I was like, oh well, and he didn't,
Yeah.
so that was um, Wade Egan had maybe one concussion and his hip had a
Yeah, hip injury.
relatively clean year. I remember 23, he was always out.
Yep.
But he for what he played the games I think he has in the last maybe 3 years, to be honest.
One of his better years for sure. It definitely helped us a
Yeah,
lot throughout the season. He had a couple of mid one little HIAs that pulled him out from memory, but he ended up getting back, and then obviously ended the season on a HIA from memory, didn't he, in that Panthers game? So, but yeah,
yeah, yep. Then we had Fish, who had calf 2 games,
hmm
and then he had the
Peck.
pick as well. Yep. So,
Yeah.
but for the majority, played all the way through. Chanel had a calf complaint 1 match,
Yeah.
and then Laban, that was a big loss because I thought Laban was really humming at that time, like
Mm.
Kaufusi, man. Yeah, man. Shave your blimmin' reverse fade off, and yeah. But
And we
yeah,
had
like
Roger hamstring.
Roger hamstring. Yep.
That happened earlier
Um,
on the season.
Kane with a concussion, and he had his little knee. What happened to Tane? He kind of recovered, didn't he?
Yeah, he
With a
had that
little,
knee injury from Carp. I
yeah,
can't remember how bad. Obviously, he got back, but he's back playing this weekend. So he played last weekend as well. But yeah, was a scary one when I first saw it. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna lose
it looks
Tane too.
scary.
But
Yeah,
yeah, and he had that knock where he got knocked out against Parramatta. Remember in the New South Wales Cup. So he had a couple of little knocks around this year as well.
yeah. Um, so yeah, that's your injury list. It was a fair chunk. There was a period where it felt like, wow, we're having a clean start, but as
Yeah.
you can see, it built up and it impacted us. I even think of Leatoa and how hot he was starting. Imagine if we had the opportunity, even if Berry was injured, with a healthy Leatoa, could have
Mm.
just been a difference in a few games. So there's things that you can definitely add up. In
As I said,
terms of oh, sorry,
that
go.
right edge, bro, that right edge got tore apart with injuries this year. And that's why I always go back to when people complain about our attack and our defense in certain moments, our combinations and that right edge really suffered. Dallin started off the season. He didn't get back to a little bit later. And then inside of him, Ali Lautar, obviously injured, been in and out of the season. We had Rocco Berry in that position, in and out of the season. We pushed Kurt Capewell to that side for moments there. Maratinir Kore inside of him.
Yeah,
We had Lek Alasima there for a couple of times there too. Jacob Laban played on that right edge back rower spot as well to fill in spots. Then the 7 jersey with Luke Metcalf playing there. Then we had Tanner
yeah,
Boyd. We had Tamai Martin. So that right
yeah,
edge got absolutely chopped and changed. And shout out to Adam Pompey and all that on the left edge. They were a fresh bill of health pretty much for the whole year. Chanel, again,
yeah.
this is why they keep their lineups, they keep their spots. It's more than likely they're consistent, they stay in the game, and they're healthy all the time. So big shout out to those guys.
And credit to even Aaron Clark, bang for buck, absolutely worth every cent.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
Available every game. Output was fantastic throughout the season. So yeah, he had definitely one of those better games. But that gives you guys an idea of just the breadth of the injuries, and the kind of variety when they happen. We did actually quite well to get to where we did with that. Now suspensions. I think we only had a few suspensions, if I remember. I think maybe Fish had one.
Yep.
Um, then I think Berry was the only other one that got a
And
suspension
Jacko,
as well.
Jackson Ford late in the season,
Jackson
remember?
Fox, yeah. So Fish got a careless high tackle. Oh, no, Rocco Berry careless high tackle, grade 2 charge, 1 match. Fish with a careless high tackle, 1 match, offered, accepted. Yep, that was for the Cowboys game A, was it?
Mm,
And yeah,
the
Jackson
Dolphins
Ford.
game.
That 3 match suspension was rough. I don't
Mm,
know. Did he have carryover?
I'm not
He must
sure
have had.
from memory.
Yeah,
Was it a hip drop? It was a hip drop from
yeah.
memory.
It was a crusher off. I remember.
Crusher, that's right.
Yeah, it
Crusher.
was a crusher, and it didn't really look good. And the other one was Richard Agar. Breach notice following alleged press. That was a crack up, bro. Oh,
Shout out
that
to our
was like
coach.
Clown Central. That was Viva Las Vegas at that time.
That was,
Um,
yeah.
but bro, to be fair, I'd imagine that's a pretty clean slate compared to other teams that have probably have more suspension.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel that's pretty clean. Um,
100%.
now people asking for Nas to come. That almost gets tripled that that list if Nas comes over. So just keep
Yeah,
in mind that
we're not getting
yeah.
Nas, bro. We aren't getting Nas. I hate that whole discussion. We turn him down. Nah, we're not doing it.
But that's what I'm saying. That we've got a clean, tidy team,
Yeah.
pretty much. So that covers that. Departing players, man. I just wanted to quickly do a mention and shout out to those that are leaving.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think who they all are, but maybe start with Kossi. We know he's off. Him and MGT. Any fond memories of Koss? From your view, Ash?
Yeah, the Cronulla Sharks game in 2023
Yeah,
when we
that
had
was a
that
great game
buster,
for Koss.
him versus Ronaldo Mulatalo, and that was an incredible little show out from Ed. Ed had some really, really solid ones. I think the Cowboys game this year was one of his best ones where he ended up, I think he broke his collarbone in that game and he played on all the way through from
Ah,
halftime. So he did really,
yeah.
really well. And I think Gossi, as I said, I felt like Gossi had some confidence issues sometimes going into first grade. Obviously, he had a lot of pressure from his debut and all that sort of stuff. And but when he played well, he was very, very hard to handle. And shout out to the big man. He's going to do well for the Rabbits. The Rabbits are buying a lot of our talent and a lot of outside back depth for our talent as well. So I'm very curious to see how they use him. But I think he'll be a New South Wales Cup player there for the Rabbitohs. So shout out to him, and hopefully he goes really well.
Yeah. Sorry, just saw. I think they've done their medals tonight. Is it the awards night at the Warriors?
Yep, it is.
Guess
Yep.
who? Guess who won? Ash, the Simon Manning.
I already seen it.
Ah,
Roger talking about the shit.
yeah, well deserved. Well deserved. I thought he was absolutely one of the best. I think without Roger, our season would have looked a lot different. We can talk more about that
Agreed.
later on, maybe in our tier list stuff. But yeah,
Yep.
just saw that come up, and shout out to Uppy as well. But I just saw Bailey Bunty confirmed tonight. Can anyone confirm where that he's off to? Is he off to
Not
Super League
sure.
or
I saw a comment earlier on that the boys did the haka for him. So
just departure kind of?
departure, yeah.
Okay.
So he might
nothing
stick
in
around the
terms of,
club, hopefully, which would be good for us because I think he's been a very spiritual type of guy for us. But
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks seeing him leave.
You don't think he's going to get another contract somewhere else? He probably.
Probably Super League or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't think an
Super
NRL club would take him up, unfortunately. But it'd be great to see because I love Bumpy, but not Bumpy,
Bunty.
Bunty. So yeah,
Yeah. No, great guy. Great guy. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Okay. Actually, talking of Bunty, a guy that's just been in the club, for such a long time. I actually really enjoyed his 2023 run where he was starting with Barnett at times, and he would do. Remember, we always talk about and debate, his 20 minutes at the start of the game, and you wouldn't see them for the rest of the game, but he gave you good, solid 20 minutes, like no errors, solid tackle tech. I always valued him. Obviously Anton was one of his favorites, but what'd you make of Bunty's time, bro, at the club?
unbelievable. Was it 2016, 2017? He had that really incredible season where I think it was around when the Broncos and Cowboys were having their back and forth from final series and grand final. Bunty around that period was like people need to go back and rewatch those Bunty days. He was actually really, really solid for us. But yeah, Bunty's, as I said, bro, I think he's a major contributor to the club, not just on the field, but off the field. I feel like he's a guy that he used to, apparently, from all the rumors, he dominates our wrestling room. He's one of the strongest wrestlers at the club. Defensively, when you get hit by him, you know it. But just knowing that, like just seeing the videos of how the boys celebrate after the game and that's all Bunty for and what he's given to the club and the new chant and stuff like that. I think that, Bunty always gave his 100% on and off the field, and nothing more than when I came into New Zealand, right? We had the New South Wales Cup boys go up the top of Lily Worlds.
That's right. Yeah.
All the other boys, like, as they should, they're footy boys, right? Like, too hot to trot. Like, they're all lovely boys and all that. Bunty out of all of them was the most like
Yeah.
Honestly, just the glow of energy. Like, yeah. So shout out to Bunty, and I hope him all the best. And again, I'd love for us to try and keep him in the club for like coaching or something like that in the future, because I think his mentality and his energies are well needed around the club.
Yeah, man. Look, man. Tom Ali, I know he's off to Penrith. Tom was a favorite of mine. I really enjoyed a lot of his work in 23. Again, I thought he was the next man up, of that wave of players kind of just before Leka and Dimitrik. And it seemed as he had a lot of variety. I remember he filled in at back row in the Sharks game. He bounced around a bit off the bench, but he had a few errors in his game at that time as well. And it seems 2025 he just was on the outer from early on. But a good player. I wish him all the best, actually. And in a way, I would love to see what his potential looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just not against us, but um, I liked him as a player personally. I thought he had a lot, and I was a bit upset that he didn't. Um, that he didn't he carry on, but we'll see what happens with him at Penrith. But any thoughts um, yeah, on him?
Very similar to you, bro. Nothing but fond thoughts. Again, like little things that he obviously he'll develop in time, and maybe he'll develop under the Penrith Panthers. And I'm sure he's going to be a great buy for them in some sort of period, whether it's New South Wales Cup or first grade. Has the potential to play front row or an edge position. Very good in attack, I believe. Defensively is kind of the only thing that I kind of was like when I was looking at him going, is he there yet or not? But hopefully he finds his potential. He's definitely going to be someone to watch out for in the future, because if the Panthers get the best out of him, we do know that he can be a damaging ball runner on his day. So he could be a very similar type to what they need, like when they have Laron Patea and all that sort of stuff at the club. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I'm excited to see what the best comes out of Bunty, but again, similar to you, just not against us, yeah, please.
Just quickly want to shout out my man Jazz, who has to bounce. He's gonna go pick up his son, grown up son, broken down. Jazz, you're a good man. I know you'll probably watch this later on if you haven't left to read, but we
Thank
love
you,
you, brother.
Jazzy.
Thank you for all your hard work this year. And before we sign off at the end of the night, but we want to thank you now, man, for everything that you've done, Jazz. Thank you, brother, I really appreciate it. No, Jazz, Ash does as well. You've been massive to Wires Up TV. And yeah, we want to acknowledge you now before as well later on with
100%.
everyone else. What was it? Who's next? Trying to think who else is on this main.
Wyler Graham's
MGW.
alpha.
Yeah,
Yep.
MGT. A great run of games in 23 or maybe even 24. I think.
Yeah.
He gave his heart and his best at times. That little run. I think we won that Magic round, and then he came in and we beat the Dolphins at home with when Dallin was fullback in that game.
Yep.
It showed that our players in the development system are able to step up when needed, which is always great. This is an era that we've called on so much New South Wales Cup talent, and for the majority, they've all kind of done a job. And
Yep.
MGT was one of those guys.
Agreed.
Wish him all the best at South. Again, we'd like to see his potential. He probably just isn't of that level to really crack it, in my opinion. But
Yep.
there's no this of him, and hoping he has success. Any thoughts from you, Ash, on MGT?
Yeah, on his day, he's always dominated New South Wales Cup, in and out. Like he can have consistency issues at times. Defensively, he can be here or there, but I think in attack, he's definitely a lethal player. And I'm sure the Rabbits are going to, again, another player going to the Rabbits. I'm sure they're going to really love him over there, especially in Cup, or, a good piece that they can keep aside when they do have their injuries. As we know, the Rabbitohs have been struggling with injury at the moment. So, but again, top end potential. A kid that, again, if the Rabbits get the best out of him, he'll be a guy to watch out for the future. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. But again, yeah, it's pretty sad to see him leave because he does have potential, but unfortunately, just not consistent enough to be around.
Yeah, it's the consistency, and unfortunately, he's not going to be the one to kind of fill that void. Is there anyone? Toby Crosby. I know who hasn't cracked the
With
first
Penrith.
grade.
Yep.
But he's going with Penrith as well. We've had those chats, Ash. You've had those chats about him.
Yep.
Look, who knows what they could produce with him? We might be seeing something in the future. It just wasn't to be with us,
Hmm.
which is no plight on him. I think from reports was that he wanted a full time contract,
Yep.
and we weren't ready to provide that for him. Anything you guys wanted to chuck on that? I mean, great athlete, isn't he? Great potential.
Incredible athlete. He's a guy that athletically has all the potential to be a very, very good NRL player. I think it's the footy
Yeah,
stuff that's taken him a little bit of time. He's a union junior that's coming over, just learning the game and that. You see it in his game every so often. Like he's like statistically in areas he's very, very good. But again, like certain little things in his game he does need to clean up on. If there's any team to get it out of him, it's the Penrith Panthers. So I'm sure they're going to find, something for him there, and they can get him grow. But he could be one of those guys that's very similar to a Zion Mai'u that we had a lot of high praise because he's an athletic freak, but
yeah,
just unable to kind of round out the rest of his game. But I really do hope he does because he does seem like a very interesting, very good character.
yeah. And again, it's good for us Warriors fans to just see some of the talent we've had and see how they get on. If you're a fan of the player, um, then you'll watch them. I'm more of a fan of the club. Like
Mm.
even Adam AFB leaving, I haven't even watched any AFB. I'm not interested. I'm quite ruthless in that sense. Like if you leave, I don't really care. But I mean, I still watch out of interest. But like I care about who's here, and but even guys that you do have a soft spot for, you hope they do well.
I
So
think what people need to understand too is we've got a really good young crop that are coming through underneath. So yeah, your Bishop Neals of the world, but we've signed this Tongan kid. Very, very sorry, I can't remember his name, but there's a lot of big raps on him. He's going to be playing Harold Matts this year, guys. So keep an eye on him. Apparently about the same size as Bishop Neal, and has a lot of upside as well. So we've got a lot of young kids that are coming through now that have a lot of that high end potential that I think the club are just prioritizing to keep their contracts ready and going. You can't keep everyone. That is the truth. And as we
yeah,
see with our New South Wales Cup team this year, we're absolutely incredible. So it's not like,
yeah,
yeah, it's not like I don't think that. Obviously, there's some guys that can bite us in the ass later on, but that's just rugby league. It happens to every club, and it always seems to be a news story when you're going bad. But if we continue to go good, then I think we'll be fine.
yeah. Yeah, I am quite ruthless like this, Bailey. And honest to you, I didn't watch much SJ when you're in the Sharks. I'm kind of like that, bro. I support my team. If you're not out of sight, out of mind. Um, but obviously I was stoked when SJ came back. But yeah, I'm just that way inclined, bro.
I played the fifth.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into so acknowledgement to everyone there. I can't think of anyone else. Anyone else in development left? No, I don't think. I think we've
We had a little one. So Compton Purcell was a big one I was watching out for
Compton
in
Purcell. Yeah, that was
he
gut
went
wrenching, wasn't it?
mid-season to Penrith. We had Mahani Pooling that went to Mahana Pooling. Mahania Pooling. Sorry, so
Okay.
sorry I messed that up. But he went to the Gold Coast Titans because again, a lot of these kids, I'm pretty sure they're in the SG ball when their season finished. If they didn't make flag, they'll be playing. They wouldn't be playing. They'll be playing pretty much bush league over in New Zealand. So they came over to development places in Australia, and so they came to the under 21s in the Gold Coast Titans and stuff. And the Penrith Panthers got Compton Purcell. Again, high end potential guys that
Yeah,
can definitely come back over. There's always rumors of some of the kids that we have already let go that want to come back home. There's one at the Dogs, I won't give out any names, but there's been some rumors of someone that was very highly touted that wants to come back home as well. So, wait and see how it goes in the future.
Chris, before you leave, thank you very much, man. We do appreciate it. Got to go, Levon. Thanks for all the content this year. Has been a blast. I've been able to vent and celebrate these with you guys. Chris, you're very kind. We
Thank you, Chris.
appreciate all your input since you've been a channel member as well, and seeing your comments. Look, we'll still be doing content recorded. So if we see you in the comment section, we'll respond. But bro, go have a good off season. We'll catch up with you later on. Sure.
100%.
Thank you very much, Chris. Okay, let's move now into the tier list, guys. Now, can I bring up something here? There was screenshots, I think it might have been. This was the tier list from mid-season. Um, just have a quick look. So this was, I think, after I can't quite remember. It might have been, yeah, but like kind of have a little look there. Um, yeah, mid-season there, and you can see, we're having an amazing season with all those guys at the top there.
Yep.
Not that that has to impact what we do now, but as you can see at that middle part of the season, everyone was really doing quite well. We had Dales down there because he was just coming back from injury, and same with Rocco. But there was I don't think there was anyone in the poor level, um,
No.
and I don't think we're going to reach that far low anyway this year. But we'll have a little look anyway. But that's just sort of kind of for reflection. Let me bring up the tier list now on my screen. We'll work through it. You all good, Ash? I know we're kind of going on here.
All good, brother. All goods.
Okay, gotta give our very best to the people, man, before we sign off. Let me just zoom in if I can a little bit more. That's one too many. Okay, so let's get into our tier list. Let's maybe start with just the ones that I suppose were a little bit injured.
Yep.
Leatoa. He's here at the bottom here. Hard to evaluate, but remember we were talking about it in the game review. Like he was having a good season.
Yep.
Just injuries come to hit him. I'm happy to keep him in good. I don't think he was. Yeah, I just think injuries got to him. He did get dropped. Did he get dropped one time? I can't remember.
Yeah, well, it was heavily rumored he got dropped, but he had an injury as well. So there's like two different reports what was going on there. But it was reported that he was getting drops due to some defensive lapses. I think it was the first West Tigers game from memory. I can't remember what it was actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, unfortunately, it's the way it played out for him. But it's weird to say, yeah, injury wise, like it took away from him. But when he was playing, he was very good for us in my belief anyway. So I'd probably say good when he was there. But yeah, definitely a guy that I want to see more out of.
Yeah, we want to see more of it. And we'll give him good for now. Rocco Berry, we'll pull that one out now. Yeah, it's a tough season for him.
Very similar. Yeah.
You'd probably say maybe
probably
in the average range. Yeah. Just it was really when he honestly performed. Like I remember we talked about it at the Titans game, the last Titans game. Man, see what Rocco can do, once he's fit, and the all those things, the little things. So there was a marked improvement, but by his standards and the injuries, you can't give him too much of a high score there.
Nah, that's exactly right, bro. It has a lot of potential. Just unfortunately, injuries are really killing that man.
Yeah, they really have. Let's go to Captain Mitch Barnett. We'll put him in, and at that time we had an amazing season. I still think it was an amazing season from him. Would you be of that same mindset? Yeah, he was absolutely awesome.
I think that was an injury that not just shocked us, but shocked the league and shocked the New South Wales Blues. It shocked Australia by the end of the season. There's a lot of people that are going to be hurting with no Mitch Barnett, but none more than us, I believe. He was definitely a major miss for us this season towards the run home.
Yeah. Just quickly, being devil's advocate, do you think we should have rested him that game? I know it's hindsight 2020, because I think he came straight off Origin. Or was it a freak accident, in your opinion?
Freak accident, in my opinion. And again, with all our injuries, a lot of it that are happening, the club has the most, they have a good view set of what happens. And knowing Webby that he would have rested, we saw Wade Egan towards the end of the year. That was a touch and go hip injury that he rested that game and he brought him back for the Panthers game. I'm sure, with someone so important like Mitch Barnett, he would have done so. So for me, freak injury.
Yeah, freak injury. Our man Metcalf, again, he, had shoes to fill. He filled them. This wasn't a hamstring injury, which was my kind of. I felt if he had another hamstring injury, I was looking really seriously about his health, but it was a
Yep.
freak ACL, which is still massive. But to the point he was at, it still sticks an amazing season for me. Stay with that, Ash.
Yeah, I'm going amazing for sure. And yeah, straight
Yeah,
on his injury, because I did see a couple of comments or whatever that Luke Metcalf should have been rested before that game. Ain't no way. No way he should have been
nah,
rested before that game. And that injury did not come back off of what happened the game prior. That injury was a freak accident of him getting taken out. And it was a legal tackle, all that sort of stuff. It was a knee clash from that tackle, which caused an ACL injury. So that happens in football. You can't get away from that. That wasn't a hamstring injury or anything to do with muscle.
yeah,
It was more of a contact injury.
yep. We'll go Jacob Laban, obviously, kind of hampered by the end of year's injury, and then we'll kind of just work our way through, I suppose. Um, I was thinking he was having a good season. Maybe go very good, based on his output there. What would you say, Ash? I'm
Who
thinking
is
he's
this?
in
Sorry, brother.
Jacob
Laban?
Laban.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I would probably say yeah, probably very good. I think that
yeah,
he was a really good contributor when he was there. Unfortunately, a broken leg hurt, but like he had a lot of good games. Like the Dolphins game, he showed out. I thought he was
he
incredible. As I
did.
said, multi All Stars. He showed a lot of potential. So, yeah, I can't wait to have him back fresh and ready to go next year.
Yep, keen to see how he progresses. Um, okay, we'll go from the top here. Tanner Boyd, I've got to put him in a very good season. My reasoning for that was he came into a role, he worked hard in Cup. There was evidence of him being really, really solid in Cup. People were saying that Tanner's doing amazing. He can get a call up at any point. He came in and he steadied the ship for the majority. I have no real qualms with his output. I would put him in very good, to be honest. What would you say, Ash? I mean, he played within the structure, nothing over the top, amazing, nothing too low either. So kind of, yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna go like a good season. I thought that
yeah,
New South Wales Cup wise, very very good. I thought he really hit like a lot of good development in New South Wales Cup. Coming into first grade, had some good moments. Had some moments where I'm like looking at him going, okay, so this is where you're at right now as a halfback. I think 9 games, he's won 4 of them. So
yeah.
but he's had some decent try assist moments, line break assists. I think it's just his running game defensively is the 2 things that he needs to
Sorry,
continue to
yeah,
work
I
on
remember that. I forgot the defense was pretty poor. Yeah,
at
yeah.
times. So yeah, so that's just the little things to Tanner, and I'm sure he'll fix it up over time. But yeah, I'm going good at the moment.
Actually, I agree with the good because, yeah, the defensive issues were quite strong. And look, to be fair, he's an experienced half. Australian schoolboys, all that you do want a little bit more, don't you?
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think it's fair. I think it's actually a fair analysis there. To my um, I kind of got him in. I mean, if you put him under the view of a utility, you could argue very good, maybe. He kind of filled in where he could. Like he wasn't an out and out hooker that of the level of Sam Healy. He wasn't an out and out fullback that but he filled in where he could. I thought his output in general was very tidy.
Yep.
Yeah, you could put him in a very good season if you take that all into account. Where would you have him, Ash?
Yeah, I'd go very good. Yeah, I'm right on there with you. I think that he's been underrated in the sense of like the amount of times I heard people call for Sam Healy and that, and like in some moments, yeah, we could have used Sam Healy in that 14 jerseys, but other moments, like if we didn't have Tamati Martin, would be completely lost. Like, as I said, we had that one game where he played 3 or 4 different positions against the Broncos. If we had Sam Healy on the bench, we would have been completely screwed in that game.
Yeah,
So there's a reason why he's carrying him. And when you look at other top sides in the competition, they are carrying a hooker utility on their bench now. The Penrith Panthers over the weekend, they're carrying Brad Snyder on their bench just in case there's any injuries or whatever happens. Melbourne Storm carry Jonah Pezzett or Tyrone Wishart. The Dogs are starting to carry. They carried Toby Sexton over the weekend. However that played out, it ended up going well for him. So.
yeah.
it's not like Webby's the outcast of doing that. And I think Tamati Martin has done an incredible job every time he's jumped into a jersey.
Yep. CHT, where would you have him, my friend?
Great season. Could argue amazing for some aspects, but I think that he's been consistent. I think that if you look at the overall sixes of the season, I think it goes Ethan Strange, Cam Munster. Maybe I'm missing someone, and then you've got Chanel Harris-Tavita. Throughout the whole season, he's led our try assist with 22. I think he's right up close to the top of the competition as well with try assist. So yeah, he's top 10, I'm pretty sure, in try assists this season, and that's right up there. He's beaten out Adam Reynolds, Cody Nicolima, Braden Trindle, Jerome Hughes, Nathan Cleary. That's a lot of big names he's beaten out with try assists there. So I think he's had a really underrated season, and when people argue whether he's good enough for a 6 jersey or not, I think he's been the most consistent. He's been very, very good for us this season.
Leka Alasima has to be none other than amazing.
Yeah.
When you add in the rookie element, the impact, yes, he had his errors, and then he's young and being asked a lot. Look, from a creation X factor element, in many cases he was the only one at times. So to be asked to fill those shoes at a young age, we're talking about like an SJ almost in a different position, being asked to create and be the difference maker. So he has to be an amazing season for me.
If people want to talk about X Factor, bro, we got it all there in spades in Leka Alasima, and you guys know how high I was on him this year. You guys already know. It's amazing, and he's lived up to all my hype and possibly even more. I cannot wait to see the more progression that we get out of him.
Yep. Let's go quick now to Aaron Clark. Amazing season as well for me.
Amazing.
Yep.
Nothing more, nothing less. He should be lock of the year. He should be, buy of the year. He should be all those things. He's been incredible.
Just his output in general just was. Yeah, I just thought he didn't fade at all.
No.
In fact, he stepped up when he was asked to do what he was doing, and so I can't take that away from him. Fish gets a lot of flack.
I know.
I mean, I would have him in a great season. There was some, errors and stuff, but it's kind of I have him in that great area. But then again, from his standards, probably could have been a bit higher. But then again, if he didn't have Barnett, if he had a Barnett with him the whole way through, there was a bit of a drop off after Barnett. So I'm kind of in that kind of happy to give him in the great to very good range. Amazing. They'll probably leave that there. But what would you say there, Ash?
I'm going great to amazing. Again, when we have these arguments about Fish, I think honestly it comes down to people just watching one side of football, and that's attack. People want to see attack. People want to see tackle breakers. People want to see meterage. But what Fish does so well is all the defensive things. It's all the leadership things, and I think he brings that in spades. He's the second best tackle efficiency in the club. The first is Dimitri Vaimonga. Shout out to Dimitri. He's right at the top there. But Fisher Harris made 586 tackles this year to Dimitri's 498. So there's a guy that works tirelessly for in the middle. He leads from the front. If we didn't have someone like that spearheading, we'd be completely lost this year. And I think people need to understand that. He is one of the best prop forwards in the competition. When you look at the best prop forwards of all time, you're looking at Shane Webke and all that. And who fits that ilk? James Fisher-Harris, Shane Webke is not like Adam Fanor-Blake. He's not like Payne Haas. But there's a reason why those props in the competition win premierships. Is because they do everything that Fish does. And that's why Fish is so important. So I cannot believe any of the Fish hate or the thoughts around Fish. I understand statistically he's never going to be that player, but rugby league's not all about statistics. You can use some, but yeah, I just honestly believe that some people are just dumb at looking at defense at the end of the day.
Yep. Absolutely. RTS has to be amazing. Simon Manning medalist. We just saw that. His overall output was amazing. His defensive work too. It was always solid on his edge, defensively. So I got to go amazing there. Yourself as well, Ash.
Yep, right up there. He won our player the season for a reason. And again, he's still in the chance for being winger of the year, and that was my preseason prediction. So Daly M winger of the year, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. I think it'll be Marky Mark
Yeah,
and Xavier Coates, but I think that he gave a red hot crack and got well
yeah,
too
it's
close
very
for what
good.
people thought. So shout out to RTS.
Yeah, very, very good. I'll leave Webby at the end there, but Wade Egan, where would you have him, Mesh?
Wade Egan, I would probably say good season, or probably great season. Sorry,
Yep.
a very good season. Probably, yeah, in the great or very good season, probably within the two. I think like when he's played for us, he's been one of the most important players for us in attack. He gets our yardage so well, like our momentum throughout the ruck very, very well. You know, he's
Yeah, Dom.
deception.
Actually,
See you, Dom. Take it easy, Bella. Good to see ya.
yep.
He's one of the most important players in our team. I've seen so many team lists lately of having Sam Healy over Wade Egan. I think it's absolutely craziness. So, I think he's starting to become a little bit more underrated than what people give credit for right now.
Yep. Tom Ollier, I'll leave that one. Sam Healy, I got him in. I want to say very good or even maybe great. I mean, there was a small sample
Yeah.
size. I'd love to see more of them. What would you say, Ash?
I'm right up there with probably next to Wade Egan in the sense of like for a rookie coming in and doing what he did in that hooker jersey, incredible. He's still got a lot to grow on. I think that his passing game's still something that I look at and go, there's still a lot to work with there. He's still got a two hitch in his game. He loves to play off the ground, like doesn't love to play off the ground. He loves to pick it up and work with the markers quick. But he breaks open a game, bro, and he plays with a ton of energy. Defensively, he's sound as so. I can't wait to see the future of Healy.
Yep, Healy's going to be awesome. Okay, Tennisdale Smith. I got him in the very good range. Maybe I thought he's just solid. I mean, you need to work on his engine a bit more, and he'll get there over time. But yeah, what would you say?
Agreed, right there on you, bro. I think ever since he debuted, he showed all the little things he can do, but it's probably just continue to work on his fitness over time. And he's definitely shocked me for how quickly he's come on from last season's New South Wales Cup. I thought he kind of missed the jump last season, but after a good preseason, he's worked himself into a very good role for us.
Yep. Let's go through with Capewell. I'd probably say great season from him. I mean, if he stayed in the edges, he probably would have just had one of those good, really good, solid seasons. But to get bounced around to centre was a tough ask for him. Where would you have him, Ash?
Great to very good. Great to amazing. Like right in
Yep.
between those two. I think that for Origin, top notch, incredible. And the one I hate so much, people bring up his missed tackle stats. If people are bringing up that about Kurt Capewell, they don't understand rugby league at all. He leads our line speed. He's the first man to make contact. Unfortunately, a lot of those times it does end up being those contacts with fullbacks and stuff that are just stripping him out. But he just defensively, he's so good, and he whacks blokes these days, bro. I thought he was really, really good over the weekend as well, and I think that he deserves to be right up there.
Yep. Morata, I got him in a good to very good season. Struggled with lateral movement at times. He had a great end of the season, but yeah, just overall output at times was, yeah. What would you have?
Right there with you. Probably whatever's like meat and potatoes. Like on sometimes, when you get home and you feel like that's going to hit the spot, he hits the spot right. He can run some really nice lines, score a try, and you go, oh yeah, here we go, Morata. We're going to see the best out of him. And then sometimes you go and you look at him and you go, oh, probably don't feel like that tonight. So he's one of those type of guys.
Yep. I'll leave Freddie Lussick. Didn't really do much. Jacko Ford, I thought great to amazing. Overall output was very high. Where would you have him, Ash? I thought he was awesome.
Right there with you, bro. He's right. He's got to be right at the top there. He had stats towards the end of the season that rivaled Terrell May. And I think he doesn't get spoken about anywhere close to that. So he's definitely underrated in that sense.
Very much so. EIT, I've got him in the very good range, man, for a young player to come through. It's still a small sample size, but you'd be happy with that.
Yep, very good. It showed a lot of potential. That Titans game was definitely a big breakout game for him. Showed that he could stand up to first grade and do a very good job at it. So I can't wait to see more out of him in the future.
Bunty. I think he's um yeah, still in the probably good range for what
Probably
he was doing.
average.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
I'd
average.
say
Yeah, he didn't
we'll
do
probably
anything
say average.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
he only played a
unfortunately.
small sample size.
Yep.
Dimitrik, I got to give Dimitrik. I want to put him in the great range.
Bro, he's in great for
Um,
me all day.
yeah, he was very solid, man. And I remember his debut in 23 when he played the Panthers, and he was he got sent off for that first game. Um, and then he had his ACL, or he had a big injury, I think it was.
Yep.
Um, and then he kind of came back, and now he's cemented himself as one of those really solid bench spot guys with potential to be a starter at some point. So massive effort from him.
He's going to be a starter in the future, and he's going to be spoken about. I see a very high upside with him. I can't wait to see the more come out of him. I would say his season got fairly close to what Lekker's did. Just Lecker had the bigger moments and the bigger shining moments. I think Dimitrik has been right up there. As I said, he's our best defender in the club due to tackle efficiency. On that stat alone, he's one of the best defenders there. So, and with Fish at the club, he's only going to get better and better over in the future.
Absolutely. Tane, again, he probably been the great man. His output was,
Very good.
I thought it was really good, man.
Yep.
Um, if he maybe played the whole season, he might have said in the amazing, but
Mhm.
um, I thought he was fantastic, man. What would you say?
Right there with you, bro. I thought that Tane showed out in a lot of big moments to where now people are having discussions of him fullback with CNK. That's always been a discussion, but I think Tane has done wonders for us this season.
Then we've got Dallin. I kind of got Dallin in the average space. For me personally, I just thought there was just it wasn't the defensive reads or anything like that. It was just the overall errors at times for me is kind of catching up with him. But where would you have him?
I'd probably say average as well. For his standard, I'd say average on the sense of, again, like I've argued about people don't understand defensive movements and stuff in NRL or rugby league. So, when people question his like movement and stuff, it blows my mind. But um, I I think his best games actually came late this season, where he started to find his feet, especially his runs out of the back end. He started to have less errors. That Panthers game, he had a couple of moments where I was like, okay, Dallin's starting to go back to where he's having certain inconsistencies. So that's where
Mm.
I'm a little bit. I'm probably very similar to you, bro. That's where I think with Dallin at the moment. So pretty, yeah, about an average.
Um, Now Chance, where'd you have him, my friend?
Chance, I'll probably go good. It's a very good season.
Yeah.
I thought he had very good moments of like where he got really high end. He led the club in run meters this season. He was right up there with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck game per game, going 250 plus. I still think he's so underrated to what a lot of people think of Chance.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately, yeah, I don't know. I'm conflicted. A lot of people question him, and I don't fully understand why, but I can kind of see it in some aspects as well. But yeah, gotta love Chance.
Yeah. Because yep. No, that's fair enough. Um, yeah. I suppose Ed played a few games. He'd probably sit in the average. Um,
Yeah.
Pompey, man, he was right up there. I thought best
Yep.
center, consistency. I got to give him amazing. His numbers were output wise was
Unreal.
unreal, man. So you got to give them. I think you got to give them fair credit there.
Third best scorer in our club right now, 11 tries this year. Most consistent player, played every single game for us from memory this year. Like, bro, what can you say? He's consistent.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Now Webby, Webby as a coach, I thought he was um amazing to get this squad. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. This squad was supposed to be um a ninth or 10th finish, maybe 11th.
Yep.
From what it looked like, he got us to a top four, solid throughout the whole season. Few injuries, and we lost that positioning. Very solid defensive team. Me and you asked for that from the very start. Could he be defensive? He was. And Yeah, amazing. I thought I want to go amazing season. Maybe drop off on the end, but yeah, you got to give him credit for what he was able to get out of this team with the losses he had of AFB and Tohu and that. What would you say, man?
Right there with you, bro. Anyone that questions Webby at the moment has got rocks in their heads. I don't really listen to a lot of the discussions overall. He talks so well with the media. He handles so much of pressure so well. People always complain about him not changing lineups, him not changing game plans and stuff. But the thing is, he's dragged our club from a point where we were the worst at what we ever were to now being somewhat close to nearly the best that we've ever been. And there's a heavy discussion on that when you look at our New South Wales Cup form, our junior grade form. He's got us to almost two top four finishes this year. Should have been a top four finish if we all were 100%. Again, our defense has never been better under any other coach close to Webby.
No.
It's been incredible under him. Attack's obviously a big talking point, a lot of people, but people have got to get away from. We're not an attacking team anymore. We're a defensive side. We grind out teams. And that's what wins competitions, and I'm sure that he's going to be the one to do it. So people need to put more respect on this man. And when you listen to don't even just take it from me, listen to a lot of other podcasts about Andrew Webster. You listen to Levels podcast, and we listen to Justin Horror and Willie Mason that have been under the top of the top coaches, and they speak so glowingly over Andrew Webster. When we have Warriors fans questioning him the way they are, it boggles my mind. It just feels like they're not watching what I'm seeing out there. So I got to give massive credit to him.
Yep. No, fair enough there, man. There you have it, guys. That's our view. Look, I saw in the chat everyone's got different views of the players, and that's fair. To each their own. They have their view of what that is, but I think when we take into overall the impact, I think there is a fair acknowledgement that Webby has done an amazing job, and we need to look now to the future. And look, there might be some players there. You're looking in the average space. You're looking in a few other, like the good season, and others saying, "Hey, why aren't you doing great? Why have you dropped from being in the great to amazing before, and dropped down into good? What is that?" And so those are things to think about in the off season.
And I think also people need to take into credit as well when we're talking about this sort of stuff as well. We're talking about guys that probably shouldn't have been to the level that they have been, and they've overachieved in the season. That's why they've gotten to the amazing season and stuff like that. It's not so much of like what people think of they ended the season and stuff like that. Like for the season, what they started from, what they are now. I think that's why there is a lot of people that have had an amazing season. When you look at it, from what we had last year to what we have this year, we have had a very good season. I think people are going to be a bit more glowing about that too.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to leave that there for now. I wanted to do a squad build for 26, but we could do that as a pre-recorded content at some stage. So we'll get into that. We're just going to quickly touch on NRLW and New South Wales Cup, and then we'll wrap up after that. But for yourself, Ash, NRLW, what a success. Oh, for myself, sorry. Amazing success. Great way to come back into the comp with just, the energy that I thought Ron was the perfect coach to bring us back in. He built camaraderie, confidence amongst the girls. He blooded in so many debutants and talented ones. And the performance from different girls like Peyton, Patricia, all the forwards are Ivana, Lauatiti.
Yep.
What an amazing season. Yes, we fell short, but you get a feeling like, man, this team can really kick on next year. What'd you make of the girls this year?
Amazing. I think if we go back to our predictions, I think we both predicted about the 8th position anyway. We didn't think we were going to win the premiership this year. We didn't think we were going to be this gangbuster team out of nowhere. And when you look at the other development team that jumped into the competition for the first year, the Dogs, they finished 9th under us. We actually won one more game than them. And that's not massive, but we also had a points differential of only -4 to the Dogs, -148. So it showed that we competed with a lot of sides this year. If we had a couple more wins, we actually would have made it within the top 6 because we had a better points differential. So the girls were very, very close. We had injuries. We had, pregnancies. We had a lot of different things at NRLW. And And Ron's just been absolutely incredible as a coach again. Again, it's very similar. Like, I'm very glowing of Webby. Ron's in the same league. He talks well. He always gets a group together very, very well. And that's a big key of having an NRL head coach is loyalty and getting a group together. And he does that. And I think with Gal Broughton and all that coming over. And also there's rumors of other girls, guys. So just keep an eye out around your screens of big signings. The Warriors are going to be on an up and up next season for sure.
Absolutely, man. Love to our girls. We can't wait to think massive crowds at Hamilton. I'm hoping they come back next year. I would love to go to some more games.
Yep.
So, man, absolutely awesome stuff. New South Wales Cup. They go down, unfortunately, to a Dragons side who I think they got a few players back from the first grade, and maybe
they did,
picked them up a bit, which is
Yeah.
kind of, I feel, tough for our boys. But there is a second life. And now we get a few of our boys back. So I think Tanner Boyd can drop in. Sorry, was there a team list that dropped? I might have missed
There
it.
was, yeah, there is a team list that dropped. I was just trying to get it up right now. But
Yeah, mine actually.
yeah,
Yep.
that game, obviously the other day, New South Wales Cup. Unfortunately, getting a loss there with the Dragons, but that is the second best team in New South Wales Cup right now. They've got a very, very stacked team. Pretty much as you said, Levon. Yeah, you're looking at Cody Ramsey, that's come back from first grade. You've got Matthew Fingai. You've got Hayden Buchanan that made his debut there in the centre. They got Lockie Ilias and Jonah Glover, both very high talents both in New South Wales Cup. Pacific Tonga's there. Raymond Faitala Mariner, Jacob Halangahu, Hame Sele. Bro, the list goes on. Ben Murdoch, Masilla. And even on our side, we have a lot of top talent there, but the boys unfortunately just got out enthused. It was a close game for the majority, but unfortunately it didn't come our way. But we have got a second chance. We go against Parramatta this weekend. That's the third best team. We had a lot of success with him before the season. A lot of good talent here. Ronald Volkman, as we know, is in the Parramatta Eels side. Shout out the Volk. Also, Lorenzo Talataina. Guys, keep an eye out for him. Number 6 for the Parramatta Eels. Very highly touted. SU Ball player of the season for the Parramatta Eels. We're talking this is the guy that I think they were pushing out Dylan Brown and not, he was going to be the next man up sort of thing. He will get his time soon. So Jet Cleary and that get into the side here. We dropped Sio Kali. I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember if he got injured over the weekend or not. But yeah, Sam Healy's back. It should be good going this weekend.
Here we go. Shout out to Snipers, man. 20, you're very kind, man. Sniper, you've been very kind to us this year. Thank you very much, brother. And much love to you. And we'll see you around in the Discord and the WhatsApp and all that as well, bro. So very much thank you, Snipes, for all your kindness and support of the team. You've been massive, my bro. We really do appreciate you. Just back to this year, our team's a bit stacked now too. We've got Sam Healy coming in, Tanner Smith drops in, EIT's there, so it's
here we go.
We should get on with this and maybe we kick on to the next phase, which would be great. Get behind the boys, guys. It looks like it's 7:15 on Saturday at Jubilee Stadium. So get on that, and support the boys. They're the last ones standing, so we got to get behind them as much as we can.
100%.
Okay, my man Ash. Guys, we are here towards the end. Thank you to everyone so far that's hanging in there. All of our moderators, I think, and a few others are hanging around. We appreciate everyone coming through. But we're just about to sign off for the season. But we'll be doing pre-recorded stuff as well individually. Myself and Ash. Ash will be carrying on his show at with Brody at Ash Thomas on YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed. But Ash, just reflections on 2025 from a content space as a creator, bro. What were some of the highlights for you? What's some of the things you really enjoyed this year?
Definitely the channel, bro. This channel, Wise Up TV. I think that we started this season at 1,500 subscribers, something like that, right? Was it around about that mark?
Yeah.
And we're now on 3.1 from corrects. Yeah. That is absolutely mental. I think that was one of the biggest achievements that I've had. I also got monetized, and I've got mine to, what am I at now? I think 1.8 or something like that. So very, very.
It's It's
Very
growth.
proud of both of us. Very proud of the community. Like, you guys have done it all for us, and you guys have been absolutely amazing. Again, it's so good to do a season where it's been very positive for the Warriors. And I think there's going to be a lot more to come. So I'm sure that the channel's going to grow and grow and grow. And I'm very, very excited for the future, bro. And I think yeah, more to come obviously with the internationals for on my channel, guys. If you want to jump over, so yeah.
Yeah. Celso, we are covering Pacific Cup. We'll probably be doing more pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah.
You guys tempting me to do a watch along. I might do one, but I'm trying to take a bit of a break. Me and Ash had talked about it. It's very intensive. And it's a big commitment. But definitely over the next 3 or 4 weeks, I won't be doing any watch alongs during finals. I would love to, but just time it cheats up on it.
Yeah.
But you never know, bro. If the Kiwis start to really turn it up,
Here we
and
are.
again, if we start to lose, you won't see me for a little while. Although I want the Tongans and Samoans to do well as well. So, but you never know, bro. But we're going to try rest up. We're going to just rest up, if you don't mind us having a little bit of a break before the start of next season. And both channels. Ash has been killing at 1.8 on his side, so he's been doing double. He's been helping grow here Wires Up TV, and he's been helping it grow on his side. Yeah, man. So I'm very, very good, man. Just for me, one of the big ones was the meet and greet. I thought that was one of the coolest moments, like that people actually came out and saw us, me and Ash, and wanted to hang out with us and share that time. Shout out to my bro Josh Hill, who's obviously he's been busy, and it was cool, man. There's a moment there at the meeting. I was like, "Sure, it's 1 o'clock. No one's gonna come." It's like maybe no one want to. And then all of a sudden, everyone just rocked up, and we had about 20 people there, and people we've been chatting with. Yep. And Monty came up, which was cool. We had like a professional kind of interview with him, that was
cool.
That was real fun, and then we went and watched the game. And it was good to just catch up with everyone, man. That for me, is the power of what this community brings, and that things can be achieved when you put your mind to it, man. And that was a main time to do with with myself and yourself, Ash, and your family.
Agreed, brother.
So it was real cool, man. Yeah, and just the consistent. I felt I was pretty consistent this year. I think we might have had 1 week off, so we stayed pretty solid. You've been rock solid every Tuesday, man, and Wednesday, club rooms, all those types of things. So we're very, very grateful, man, to all you guys who make the community. You make the community what it is. If you guys are in the chat, if you guys have been watching, we'd have nothing to really talk about or talk to.
Exactly.
Without you guys, we wouldn't be here, man. So, but yeah, anything else from you, Ash, in that space?
Nah, I pretty much echo all your sentiments. Thank you so much, guys, as always, tuning in, week out, and always doing the big lift for us, as Levon said. It's so hard to do content without a community out there, and we've got such an amazing community that keeps in touch, and they message us personally, and everyone's so amazing. And when we met everyone in the meet and greet, I think the biggest thing for me is like the most important person in my life is my wife, and bringing her over to New Zealand, and meeting everyone, and how respectful you were to my wife and to me personally. I think that that goes so long and so far away. And I know I've got genuine friends and stuff from making this content, and it doesn't just stop here. Obviously it continues all the way through it, and it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like I can just turn on a camera and just talk to my friends week in, week out, and just give you my thoughts, and you just give you yours. So it's been absolutely incredible. And here's to more, bro. Here's to 4,000, 5,000. Here's to growing a massive community here.
Massive, man. Yeah, no, thank you, everyone. And even those that have left early, we appreciate you guys. Those that have hung around. Just big shout out to all of our moderators, Tahi, Hosea, Jazz, Inspector. We added a few more on there as well to kind of help us out. Give those fellas a break. They've done the heavy lifting. Tahi always giving us like and subscribes. Jazz always giving it a positive. Flames, I'm going to miss Jazz's flames coming early because, the watch along was like 20 seconds early, and then Jazz would just film and spoiler alert. the blimmin' scoring tries. But it's nice to have those flames there, and then you kind of you'd see Jazz's flames, and then you try and pretend like you're predicting
waiting.
the tries gonna get.
Used to be
So
good,
it made me
man.
look like I was a prophet. I really knew my rugby league, but really I saw Jazz's flames there. So I'm
I feel
feeling the
like something's
tries coming up
coming.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, bro,
bro.
that was gold. That was gold. But we appreciate it, man, and yeah, shout out to our bro Josh as well. I've been trying to catch up with Josh. Has been super busy, Hosea. I'll see if I can get one in with him, but he's been we've been trying to catch up, and he's been flat tech with his mahi. But it's good to catch up with Uncle Josh as well.
He's a
Been,
beast.
he's been beast. But yeah, guys, so that leaves it there. Massive season again. Like we say, we love what we do, but we just need that break. So, but still expect us to do some pre-recorded content. I saw there doing a all-time Warriors. Yeah, there's different ideas we could do, right?
100%.
And still covering the games. And don't forget to catch Ash's show with Brody, and they're going to compile through, guys. So show some love to them. Go over there and give them a like and hit their chat over there. So, but from Wise Up TV, we thank you very, very much. We appreciate everything. And we say, sayonara. See you next season. Up the Wires as always. Stay safe,
Up the
people.
wires.
Peace out. We out.
You